And we're back. Hello, hello, hello. It's been a minute since we've done Kenzie text. I know, my bad. We've been covering a lot of other things. So let's get into it. Let's finish. What were we on today? May 2020. Yes, May 2020. We left off in the middle of the month. So we're going to finish May 2020 and see how long that takes us. If it takes us a while, then I will schedule the next month for tomorrow, possibly. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Can you guys see me and hear me okay? Sorry, let me fix my headphone. Shout out to you guys for being here. These are a reread of the text messages. So yes, we are rereading them. I did make my coffee. It's, I know, Lakeside. It's cold here. There's a lot of bad news currently. Yes, I know. Welcome. Shout out to all of you for being here. Live chat, live viewers, replay viewers matter just as much. So thank you for being here. I know there's like a Trump thing going on tonight, and I debated canceling this live, but I'm not into it. I'm not into politics like that. Let me say hello to everyone. Evie, Robert, Crease, Taz, highly favored. Hello, Psycho. Hey, Robert, Joker. I saw Lakeside and Debbie. Shout out to you guys for being here. Okay, let's get started. Please hit that like button too, guys. Don't forget. It's a great way to help the channel. Okay, we left off on, let me see what screen I want to do. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so according to my notes, we left off on mid-May. And let me go back a little bit. They were just arguing. She wanted to hang out. Okay, let's see. May 16th, Dom says maybe. Kenzie does emojis, sideways face on 5/16. Okay, let's see. So she said, just say yes, Dom. 3:26 p.m. So she's trying to hang out with Dom. Dom doesn't want to hang out with her. Oh, thank you, Lakeside. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super sticker. And hey, Janie, thanks for being here. Good to see you. Very nice of you, Lakeside. Appreciate you. Okay, so she says, just say yes, Dom. I want to hang. She said, it's like 80 out. Just let me come hang. Dom, trying to link soon. I think I'm leaving here soon. And that was at 6:33 p.m. on the 16th. Then it jumps to the 17th. She says, morning, babe, at 11:17 a.m. She says, I just moved 2 seeds to a big pot. I don't know if I did it right. Dom says, only put in a little bit of soil. She says, oh no, I didn't do that, LOL. And want to chill? Dom says, I told you that 3 times. It's not going to grow if you have too much soil. You need like an inch of soil. Kenzie says, okay, I'll fix it when I'm home, but want to hang soon? I'm going to pass your house soon. Look outside and you will see me on a motorcycle. She emphasized her message. He said, we can hang in a little. And did you already pass? She says, yes, I looked really cute, babe. I got all my clothes back from Megan. Is a coffee mug small enough? He said, that's dope. I'll send you vids. It's not like the dude's an expert. You just can't have it deep in soil. He sends a YouTube video link. She's talking about Mary Jane plants. She says, I have it in a Tupperware. I'm going to put it in mugs when the sprout is bigger. Let me know when I can come over. I'm dressed already, LOL, at 1:36 p.m. She says, can I come hang now? At 2:01 p.m. Emphasizes her own message. Baby, you said in a little. He said, Dom says, I was helping my dad. My hands are all dirty. I don't like when you push me. This is what I was talking about. If I say no at 4, that don't mean 4:30. She says, I'm not pushing you. I'm just asking. You don't have to get mad. He says, well, stop. I'm trying to weigh up stuff so I can get stuff done all at once. but my dad keeps making me help him with the drain. She says, oh, that's gay AF. Dom says, it's like 6 people need me all at the same time. Kenzie says, my bad. I didn't know you were doing that. Dom says, all for important shit. Besides, you just want to hang. So let me do the important shit. She sends an emoji. You didn't have to say, quote unquote, besides you. Just don't make me wait all day long to hang with me. And a little like you said this morning. Dom says, you're the only one that wants to hang besides Kyle, and I have 10 Snapchat notifications, so I'm not even trying to take the time out of my day to text you. Understandable? Question mark. She says, yeah, but I thought I was going to come over early and do all your shit with you. It's fine. It just frustrates me when you tell me we can hang soon or in a little, then you don't answer for a while, and then you make me wait longer. I swear to God, my house just makes me want to punch the F out of something. I try to go outside and my sister is out there and wants the entire backyard to herself. Like WTF. Then when I finally go out there, there's just effing bugs surrounding the one chair I decide to sit on. Dom says, try having 5 people hit you up every 2 minutes. Hard to keep track of everything. That's why I get really mad when you text me, Hella, and that's also why I'm not reading that paragraph right now. She says, thanks. Then she sends a screenshot of his notifications. He said 7 in 2 minutes. She says, just hang with me soon and be nice. Or just bring me on the runs. That would be fun too. He says, no. She says, you can't hang with me soon now? This is what frustrates me. Dom says, no, I'm not taking you with. She says, oh, can you get done fast? Then what if we go kayaking or some shit? I found hella abandoned places, by the way. For real, be done fast though. Dom says, if you want to go to my house. She says, I will see soon. He says, okay. She says, I'm coming over in 5 minutes at 4:08 p.m. She says, on my way. I'm there. Dom says, I'm outside. She says, can we go back? Dom, I'm a flip out. Wait. She says, can we go back at 10:04 p.m.? And then it jumps to the 18th and she says, at 11:08 a.m. Dom, I'm a flip out. I'm about to freak the F out. Dom, OMFG. And then she sends a picture of, it looks like Dom. I can't see it. It's too small. Then she says, on my way at 11:15 a.m. She says, I'm coming over. If you don't talk this shit out with me. Dom says, I'm leaving. F you. F you. She says, F you. You were with Maddie. All you have to do is talk this shit out with me. And you would rather hide info from me than tell me the truth? Dom says, you didn't go to my house, right? She says, want to tell me who Joseph on your phone is? Want to tell me right now? Dom says, Joseph. Did you go there? Because I dipped and I have to pee. Hello? I guess I just won't come home. If you're at my house, we're not cool anymore. What? Kenzie says, LOL, I was never even there and we need to talk. I know a lot more than you think, babe. I told you I will always find out, so never hide things from me that you know I'll be mad at. Dom says, it don't matter if you're going to let dumb shit bother you. I don't care. Kenzie says, I know a lot more than you think. A lot. Dom says, tell me then, N-word. She says, me and Maddie are cool again, by the way. Like, it's really upsetting. Just when I think things are going to be good for a while with us, you do some shady ass shit. Like, stop being effing shady. Why couldn't you just tell me you were with AJ, Carl, Josh, and Maddie? Like, is it that hard? Like, why the F would I care? Maybe if you told me, I wouldn't be ready to beat the F out of someone right now. But no, you have to lie about the little things. If he told her that he was gonna be hanging out with Maddie, you guys know she would have had a freak out. This is why I think Joseph Maddie was an issue the night she intentionally crashed the car. That's a good one. You know that if he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hang out with the guys and Maddie," she would be freaking out and like keying his car. He says, "Yeah, I don't care." Hold on. Okay. He says, "Yeah, I don't care." Kenzie says, "You don't?" He says, "Yes." She says, "I knew you didn't change. You're such a liar. Next time you tell me you're going to do something, I'm done believing you. You break my heart like every day. If you don't care when I'm upset because of something you did purposely, then what? Then I don't know what I'm going to do. You're the only person who treats me like this. I do not effing like it. If you don't listen, we're going to have issues. Stop acting like you're 13. You're 18. Grow the F up. We are going to talk today," she says. Dom says, "No, because I didn't do anything." Kenzie says, "Yes, you did. You lied. And have Maddie in your phone as Joseph. You're an effing liar, Dom. Like, stop hiding things from me. I do not like you being shady at all. If you don't take the time to talk with me today, I'm going to freak out, by the way." Dom says, "Yeah, I don't care anymore." Kenzie said, "It's funny how every time I catch you lying, you just shut down." Dom says, "I shouldn't have to lie." Kenzie says, "LMAO," with a bunch of O's. "I'm for real about to screenshot and post that." Dom says, "What do you mean?" Kenzie said, "Like, that's like the most R reply I've ever got my whole life. I might make it my lock screen." Dom says, "For sure." Kenzie says, "Like, you lie and hide shit like it's a normal thing. That's your thing and it's not my fault. If you told me before that Maddie was gonna be there, you could have told me, like, what the F is wrong with you? Do you make shit up in your head?" 10 question marks. Dom says, "Make what up?" Kenzie said, "Like, I trust Maddie way more than you at this point. She told me everything. Like, you could have easily done that too. I know Joseph on your phone is Maddie. Like, that has to be the most shady thing you have ever done. If you don't answer the phone, I'm coming over," she says. Dom said, "I was grabbing food." Kenzie said, "Nope." Dom says, "Nope, what?" Kenzie says, "Where are you?" Dom says, "What do you mean?" She says, "Where are you? We're not breaking up." Dom says, "I left." Kenzie said, "Where are you? We're going to talk. And if you don't tell me where you are, we're going to have issues. It's almost like you treat me like this so I can get mad and end shit with you. Answer right now, Dom. I swear to God." Dom says, "I'm driving." She says, "When are you going to be home?" He says, "I don't know." She says, "We talk, then I leave. I'm done with the lying, Dom. This shit is not cool. This is never happening again." Dom says, "I don't even be lying. I told you not to go to my house." Kenzie says, "You're hiding shit. I'm not there. What the F? You're done hiding shit. I want to know it all." Dom says, "Yes, you are." Kenzie says, "I'm not. On my mom." Dom says, "What?" She says, "You have my location, Dom." Dom says, why were you saying, where are you then?" Kenzie said, "Because we're going to talk when you get home. You can't say nothing." Dom says, "I don't have your location." Kenzie said, "Yes, you do." Dom said, "How?" Kenzie said, "I don't know. I sent it to you that one day my mom was trying to take me away. We are going to talk when you're home, though. You can't say no." Dom says, "Yeah, I'm saying no. Nothing to talk about." She says, "There is stuff to talk about. You didn't let me finish anything I wanted to say. You get mad and hang up on me." Dom says, "No, we're not talking. Sorry." She says, "Yeah, we are. I don't want to have to pull up on you." Dom says, "No." Kenzie says, "Because that's going to be more issues." Dom says, "I'm not home anyway." Kenzie said, "I know where you are." Dom said, "What?" She says, "What do you mean, what? I know you're not home. Where are you? You can start by not hiding stuff." Dom says, "I'm at Walmart. Kenzie says, "I'm going to Dunkin'. Why are you there? Are you getting something?" Dom says, "'Cause where else do I go?" Kenzie says, "People have corona at Walmart." just go home. I'm not going to come over. Dom said, no. She says, shake my head. Don't be childish, for real. Just don't lie to me anymore or hide anything. I don't care if you hang with Maddie with other people, just tell me first. I trust Maddie and I know she wouldn't do some F shit to me. Dom says, we're not talking. Kenzie says, why do you have to be so childish? Like, take the time to talk it out. Dom said, because there's nothing to talk about. This is just annoying and stressful. Kenzie said, it's annoying and stressful for me too, Dom. Like, I thought you were done hiding shit and lying. You know I care about you more than anything, Dom. I never hide anything from you or lie to you. I don't want to beef. I just don't want you to hide shit from me. You don't have to hide anything from me, babe. Dom says, we're not talking or seeing each other today. She says, don't be like that. Like, I want you to apologize for hiding shit, Dom. That hurt me a lot. Dom says, no, it wasn't a big deal. I shouldn't have to hide shit. I will disagree with that. I will. Like, I don't like that he did have to put her under a different name, but I get it. Hey, Jessie Lynn, good to see you. I get stage 50 clinger. I know. Dom got so much patience. I don't know how. I know. Okay, she says, Dom says, no, it wasn't a big deal. I shouldn't have to hide shit. Kenzie says, I told you that you never have to. I said, I don't care if you hang with Maddie and groups of people. It was a big deal because I didn't know. I feel like it's a big deal and that's what matters. If it hurts me, then you should care and try to fix it. Respect me, sad face. No response. And she says, okay, cool. Dom says, I almost hit someone driving. Kenzie said, be careful driving. Just text me at red lights and when you're stopped. Or you can come when you're home. Just give me your full attention. Dom says, I'm not coming home. She says, why? Dom says, because I don't want to talk. Kenzie says, we don't have to talk right when you're home, Dom. You can get your shit done. Then when you're free, we can talk. Dom says, no. Are you at my house? She says, Dom, I swear to God, I effing told you 30 times I'm not at your effing house. Dom says, okay. She says, do you just not read anything I say? Like, WTF, I should be the mad one, but no. Like, nah, you didn't even apologize to me. F my life. Dom said, what? Kenzie says, like, you always get to win. Like, I woke up and see that pic and was like, WTF. And you could have just told me who was all there when I called you and asked you, but you had to be so sus. Like, I don't get it. Like, I wish you just told me when we were on the phone. Like, I'm honestly really upset. You need to appreciate me more, Dom. No more hiding things, she says at 2:04 p.m. Dom says, nah, I'm done with this stuff. Kenzie says, what do you even mean? You're done with what? Please talk to me on the phone, Dom. He says, no. She says, please. It won't be a long convo. Dom says, no. She says, Dom, for real? Why are you still being mean? Why do you get mad when I find shit out? Like, you can't even apologize to me. Dom says, yeah, I didn't want to wake up to that. She says, Dom, I woke up and seen a pic of you on Maddie's Finsta. You know me, Dom. You could have just reassured me and told me who was just there. Next time, can you just tell me before you hang with her ever again, though? I'm being chill AF. Can you be chill too? Question mark. Dom, please answer. Okay, I feel it. This isn't fair. I'm always the one who gets shit on. Sad face. Dom says, nah, I just don't like this BS. Kenzie says, I don't either. You shouldn't have hid that from me. She says, wow, at 3:05 p.m. I know you're on your phone. You're making this so much worse. Dom says, I'm not. She said, yes. You acting like this is making me way more sus too. You can at least apologize for real. Dom says, sorry. Kenzie says, Dom, sorry don't mean shit. I told you that 679 times. Dom says, I didn't really do anything. Kenzie said, Dom, yes, you did. You hid something from me. That's not cool. I had to find out info from Maddie when you could have just told me. Sad face. Can we chill and can you hoop? I think she means scoop. She says, why are you still ignoring me? He said, it's raining and I wasn't trying to deal with it. She says, can we still hang? And you have to deal with it at some point. Today was not good. I never want to be lied to again, for real. Well, not lied to. I don't want you hiding shit from me. You acting like I'm the one who effed up. And that was at 5:24 p.m. And then she says at 6:13, what up now? Are you going to come let me hang? Or wait, are you going to let me hang? Dom says, I'm doing stuff. She said, are you going to be home soon? Dom says, I am home. She says, you trying to chill? Dom said, probably not. I gotta leave anyway. Kenzie says, why do you have to leave? She questions his text message. Dom says, to do stuff. She says, sideways face. When you're done, can we chill? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Dom says, I don't know. She says, when are you going to be done? Also, stop replying dry AF. Dom says, I don't know, and I'm not. She says, it's getting late. How are you still doing runs? How many do you have left? She says at 8:07 p.m. Can you just call me? Dom says, I haven't been. I never left. She says, WTF. Sends a screenshot of his message. So was that a lie or something? Dom says, yeah, and I still have to leave. She says, N-word. You said that at 6. Do you think I'm effing stupid? Dom says, yeah. She says, where you gotta do then? And what do you gotta do then? And did you just say, yeah, to you think I'm stupid? She says, you make jokes at the wrong time. Don't joke when you're effed up. Where do you have to go? If you're lying, we're gonna have issues. Dom says, Xavier's. Kenzie said, should I ask him? Dom says, and I was supposed to link with Martin. Kenzie says, can I come with you to Xavier's? I need dabs and I have money. Dom says, no. She says, then can I go back home? Then I can go back home. Thanks for letting me finish my sentence before you get off iMessage. Dom says, no. She says, WTF. You're honestly making me so mad today. Like, are you kidding me? Like, is it that hard? Bruh, WTF. Dom says, what? Kenzie says, like, you hide shit from me. I find out. Then you just shut down and treat me like shit the whole effing day. And then you say you did nothing wrong when you hid shit from me. Then you just continue to ignore. Dom says, I really didn't hide anything. Kenzie says, Dom, you didn't tell me you were going to hang with Maddie. Then you wouldn't tell me when I asked you who was all there and who took the pic. Then you had Maddie in your name as Joseph. That is shady as F. He doesn't respond. And she says, okay, or just leave me on red. The F? That's what you hide from me, and don't say you didn't. Who knows what else you're hiding? And she says, oh my God, what's wrong with you at 8:49 p.m.? I swear to God, if you leave me on red, there's going to be issues. More than there already is. Dom said, there is no issue. Kenzie said, N-word, you hid multiple things from me. There is an effing issue. She's typing in caps now. There's going to be one for a while. Like, how do you not expect me not to be sus when I just caught you hiding 2 effing things? And you can't even talk it out with me or apologize sincerely. Dom says, I wasn't hiding anything. She said, and you posted that thing on your story about no one asked you how your day has been or have you ate. When do you ask me any of those questions? Why is your head not letting you comprehend what you did? You hid 2 things from me and then lied about quote unquote Joseph. Dom says, I'm done talking to you. She says, no, you're not. You're not allowed to just say you're done. You effed up hella. Do you want me to never talk to you again? Dom, if you don't talk to me, I'm going to come over. He says, if you come over, I'll just leave. Kenzie says, you can't just get away with doing this to me. Admit you effing lied. Like, why do you have to lie? You're effing sad. Like, I swear you probably hiding so much from me. And you can't even talk to me about it. How the F am I supposed to trust you at all? All you care about is yourself. Dom said, because it's annoying. She says, you're effing annoying. You hide shit and lie. Fixing this should be one of your effing priorities. You doing nothing right now. We could be effing talking this out. Dom, if you don't let me come over and talk this out, I don't know what I'm going to do. He says, you're not coming over. We can talk it out later. Let me do some shit. She emphasized her message. Later when? You know I'm going to be asleep by the time you're ready. You're probably just gonna wait till you know I'm asleep to try to talk about it. Dom, I swear to God, we are talking in person. We both know you're not gonna read a single thing I say if I talk over text. We are talking in person. Dom says, not tonight then. She says, then tomorrow morning. I'm not waiting any longer. This whole day is already ruined for me. I haven't stopped shaking all day. You effed up my anxiety today so bad. I'm honestly still mad AF. And you for real better prioritize talking to me tomorrow morning. And then he doesn't respond. And she says, I want to talk tonight at 9:11 p.m. Dom says, no. She said, I'm for real so mad. Dom says, you just made me dial 911. Kenzie says, I didn't make you do anything. I'm not even with you. Dom says, if hella people weren't calling me, I wouldn't have. They just called me back. Kenzie says, maybe if you didn't hide anything from me in the first place, we wouldn't even be having this combo. I'm so sketched out for real. Like if Joseph is Maddie, then how many other people are different names? Dom says, maybe if you weren't so sketched out. Kenzie says, are you going to finish the sentence? And I might need actual help with a whole different situation. She questions his message. He says, what do you mean? She said, like I posted on my story and you know Tina? She sends a screenshot of her story. Like then after I blocked her, she made a new account then and I blocked that too. She questions Dom's message. She removes the question mark. I haven't done anything to her or even talked to her since last time or since last year. Dom says, I don't get it. Kenzie says, what the F do you not get? She's trying to fight. And I'm not trying to fight someone that's 120 pounds more than me. Dom says, I don't know. For real? Kenzie says, and she keeps making more accounts. Thanks for the help, Dom. He says, she's just wasting her time. Kenzie said, well, if I see her in person, she's going to try to fight me. Like she's on hella drugs, for real. And if we don't talk in person tonight, we're talking tomorrow when you're awake, she says at 9:25 p.m. Then she sends 20 question marks. He says, not in the morning. She says, no, bruh. I am not waiting all day. We are talking before 4. Like I said before, you better prioritize us talking. Dom says, I'll let you know. Kenzie says, no, it's going to be before 4. Dom says, maybe. She says, nope, 100% before 4. He doesn't respond. And she says, someone made a TikTok called Strongsville Streets, and you can request people that are hoes. And then the person who runs the account will make a video with Brilla people. I don't know what that means. She said, redacted is on it. Dom says, what? She says, someone made a TikTok on an account called Strongsville Streets. And it's people who live in Strongsville and belong to the streets. And there's hella people that are hoes on it. It's funny AF. Redacted is on that account. Dom says, LMAO, what they say about her. Kenzie says, I'll send you the video. She sends a video that's blocked out. Redacted. Kenzie says, I requested 2 girls. I can't wait to see the video. Dom said, none of the girls really belong to the streets, LMAO. Kenzie says, yeah, I didn't think so. They don't really look like hoes. Dom says, besides redacted and redacted. Kenzie says, redacted's on that account. Dom says, no. Kenzie says, yes, LMAO. Dom says, whoever on that account, a hater. Kenzie says, right? I'd never take the time out of my day to post 6 videos just to be a dick. It's funny though. The comments are funny too. Dom says, do they have anyone else on there? Kenzie said, yeah, there's hella people. I don't want to save every video. I want them to post who I requested so bad. Dom says, who you request? Redacted and redacted. Kenzie says, LOL, yes. Dom says, LMAO. Kenzie says, funny how you just knew. Dom says, who else would it be? Kenzie said, there's also boys. You know that one kid? Dom says, damn, what if I'm on there? Kenzie said, if you are, I'm a flip out because why would people think you're a hoe? LMAO. I feel low-key bad for the people on there though. Dom says, LMAO. She says, I'd flip out if my face wasn't one of those, but I'm not a hoe, so I'm chilling. Winky face. Dom says, LOL. Kenzie says, redacted's in it. That one kid in your grade. And then she says something else, 2 more messages that are redacted. Dom says, redacted's like 15 though, LMAO. Kenzie sends a link. She says, I think a freshman runs that page, to be honest. It's probably Phil or some shit, LMFAO. Dom says, probably. She says, what are you doing at 10 p.m.? Dom said, taking a shit. She said, you sure you don't want to talk tonight? If not, tomorrow before 4. Dom said, positive, because it won't matter tomorrow. Kenzie said, it will. What matters today matters tomorrow. Dom says, it didn't matter today either. Kenzie says, to me it did. If it matters to me, it should matter to you. If it hurts me, you should care and try to fix it. I have a whole notes of page of why I'm mad too. I'm not going to forget. Dom says, you really take the time to do that? She said, I have a whole page of notes. I'm dead. Okay, be honest. Would you be mad if you went into your boyfriend's phone and you saw, or girlfriend, and you saw they were hiding girls under a different name? I would be a little bit. I would be like, really? She's such a ray of sunshine. Who would want to spend time with her? I don't think anyone has a choice. You're nice to her. She probably wraps around their leg. Huh? He sure. Oh, I know. He does. She's gonna come out a street monster. Who I hope she doesn't come out a 33-year-old teenager. Such a control freak. Dang, the manipulation is strong. Beautifully broken. Both parents knew how toxic this was and did nothing about it. Yeah. I never go through my man's phone ever. Pizza said, Kate, legit, the situation happened to me and it was super effed up. See what I'm saying? Why is she looking at his phone? I don't think she was. I think Maddie told her because he was hanging out with them and Maddie was there with his friends. And then she was like, Maddie told me everything. So I wonder if Dom said something to Maddie. Maddie was his friend from grade school. He cared about her, but didn't he hook up with her? He hooked up with her, remember? Or at least Kenzie thought they did. Was that before or after this? It might be after because we're in 2020. I don't remember. Be nice to her. She'll come look in your windows. She's like, I'm gonna pull up. Let me get a drink of my coffee. Anyone is better than Slender Bean, said Evie. Dom says, you really take the time to do that? She made a whole page of notes of why she was mad. Kenzie says, yes, it calms me down. That is true, though. Some therapists will tell you to do that. She's the type who would, though. Yeah, he slept with Maddie. Yeah, see? I would be even more pissed then. She's very insecure about herself, in my opinion. Yeah. She says, yeah, it calms me down. Dom says, then you should delete it after. Kenzie says, no, because tomorrow when we talk before 4, I'm going to use it for reference. I don't want to forget anything. She says, I don't feel good, for real. I got my period way too early. Like, I still have a lot of yellow pills, so I'm confused and sad. Dom says, but I don't do that. She says, you don't do what? I'm confused. Dom? Question mark. He says, I don't take notes. Kenzie says, why does it matter if you take notes or not? She says, my stomach hurts so bad right now. WTF. And then she says, Dom, bruh, this B just made another account. Dom says, who? At 11 p.m. She says, Tina. It's the 3rd account. And she sends Dom a screenshot. I have now blocked 3 of Tina's accounts. Question mark. Dom says, what a weirdo. I thought y'all were cool. Why does she even want to fight you? Kenzie says, we were, then all of a sudden she just hated me. I have no idea. Tina wants to beat Kenzie's ass. Calm, nothing calms her down. That's actually true too. Dom says, that's weird as hell. Kenzie said, she came at me last year. It stopped for a while. Then 3 months ago, she started harassing me. Dom says, I would just say, hey, I don't know what I did, but maybe we can talk about it and straighten it out. Kenzie says, like, now I have to check my Insta every couple of minutes to check for her accounts. Dom says, I wouldn't even check. She says, I don't know. I don't want her to follow me with those accounts. Dom says, then go private. She says, okay, I will. I tried to DM her again, but she blocked me too. So I'm gonna wait till she start talking again. LOL. Don't forget tomorrow before 4. Dom said, maybe. She said, Dom, yes, please try for me. Give effort, babe. Before 4. I'm going to bed. Good night, babe. He says, good night, babe, at 12:30 at night. She says, but please try for tomorrow. He says, okay. He says, I am now going to bed. Wow. He says, I am now going to bed and it's 5:04 a.m. And she says, good morning, babe, at 12:10 noon. She says, remember before 4. Dom says, good morning, babe. I gotta get shit done though. I didn't even know, but it's my dad's birthday today. Kenzie says, I had a really bad dream last night. I don't remember it, but it was not good. You were in it. And we can hang now. Then I'll leave when you gotta do shit with your dad. Dom says, I always am in the bad ones. Kenzie says, no, there's good ones with you too. Dom says, I don't know if I have to do anything with him. Kenzie says, oh, okay. She says, I'm out of dabs. I'm fiending. I need dabs. Dom says, okay. She says, hang before 4 though, babe. Dom says, maybe. She says, Dom, OMG, you told me you would try. WTF. Dom says, I will. Kenzie said, like, you should be able to talk before 4. Dom said, let's just not talk and just hang out. Kenzie said, Dom, I can't just let what happened slide. We don't have to talk for long. We can hang. Like, I understand why you did what you did. Dom said, okay, then no hang. She says, N-word, what are you doing? WTF, 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 WTF. That's how you're going to be? That's not cool at all. I'm coming over before 4 and we don't have to talk. I have questions though. Dom says, we are not talking. She says, and you need to say sorry. Dom says, you're not questioning me. Kenzie said, so you tricked me? For sure, she says at 1:20 p.m. And then she says, fine, we don't have to talk, but you're going to effing apologize. And I'm not telling you for you for what? And we're hanging 1000% before 4. I know you don't think so, but it's really rude to not let someone talk when they want to. Dom says, we're not talking. Kenzie said, I just said we aren't. The F? Like, WTF, I swear I wait all effing night thinking we are, but then you trick me and tell me we can't. I'm coming over before 4. We don't have to talk. I'm for real. She emphasized her own message. Dom says, we can just chill and not talk. I got some good ideas I want to show you. Kenzie says, Dom, I said yeah like 3 times. We don't have to talk, I guess. Ideas for what? Dom says, I'll tell you when I see you. She says, okay, I'm ready to leave whenever. Dom said, okay, I made some shit too. Let me FaceTime you real quick. Kenzie says, okay, at 2:00 p.m. Then she says, I hope your phone died. Dom says, I wasn't smoking. Kenzie said, why did you hang up on me? And I seen you hitting the wood. I was joking. FaceTime me back. Dom. She says, on my way at 2:45. He says, I'm dipping then. I was about to shower. She says, wanna apologize? Say sorry. I won't come. Dom says, nah, I don't like your attitude. She says, why are you such a dick? Like, I for real know what the F is wrong with. I don't know what the F is wrong with you. She's misspelling things because she's so mad. She said, like I do for this, and you can't do shit. You can't even do effing 1. Like, this shit is whack. You're the one who effed up, not me. You're the one who lied and got caught, not me. And now you don't even let me talk? She said there's a typo, and she says, and now we can't even hang before 4? Like, I can't effing believe this at all. He says, we're not hanging before 4. She said, like, you try to make me flip out. She says, NIGGGGAA. We effing are. I swear to God. Call me right now. I'm about to text your mom. Honestly, we need to talk about a lot more shit. Dom says, nah. She says, I'm gonna buy you some books to read. Yeah, we do. See you at 4. She says, now I need 2 apologies. How many more are you gonna make it? Dom said, no. She says, yeah. Stop acting 10. If you don't show effort, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know you lied about trying for me. You never try for me, I swear. Shit effing sucks. I have no weed or dabs. Dom says, I do, but then I stop. Kenzie said, trying for 2 minutes isn't trying. She says, I should just die or something. I effing hate my life. Dom says, just stop taking it so seriously, and it's way easier. She says, I'm not taking advice from someone who treats me bad. We're hanging before 4. If not, we're going to have issues, more than issues. And how many effing times I got to say, if it matters to me, you should care too. Dom says, nah, I'm done with this stuff. Too much of a pain. Sorry, babe, he says at 2:53. She says, F you. You're so effing fake. I can't believe you. You say you try and I believe you, and then you do this? Why do I even try? Dom says, I have good days and bad days. Yeah, just don't try. Kenzie says, maybe you should read some books on how to treat the people who love you, and your life will go a lot smoother. Stop lying and tell me you're going to try too. You get my hopes up way too much. Then you just break me. Dom says, will do. Kenzie says, I'm coming over at 4. We need to talk for real. Dom says, no, I still haven't gotten a shower though. She says, well, we'll shower on the way. He says, nah, I'd rather just run away than talk. No, I have to hit up Sheen when to come. Kenzie said, that's not what Lexi said. Dom said, F you. Kenzie said, and that's some PUSSY shit. Dom says, I'm done. I don't care. Kenzie said, I'm texting your mom. Dom says, okay, and you're not allowed over. Kenzie says, I'm coming over. Dom says, no, you're not. She says, not right now, but 4:30. Dom said, how about this? I just want to be here with just my dad. I'm not going to have anyone over. So F off. Kenzie sends a screenshot of a message. She says, I don't know if I have to do anything with him. Don't lie. Stop lying. Dom says, I want to do something, so F off. Kenzie said, stop betraying me. No, we're talking today. Dom said, I don't care. I'm done trying. Kenzie says, then I'll leave. If you're done trying, that means I'm on the way to your house right now. See you soon. Dom said, nah, if you do, we're not cool. Kenzie said, learn to effing respect me. Dom says, nah, you don't respect me. Kenzie says, I'd take 40 bullets for you, and you still would rather treat me like shit. You're mean to everyone who loves you except your friends that pick and choose when they want to be friends with you. Like, it's unfair. I'm your biggest fan, bigger than Vinny. And this is how I get treated. Dom says, fuck them all, people. Fuck all of them, people. They can go F themselves. Kenzie says, like, I agreed to not talk, and this is what I get in return. So you're not chilling with Sheen anymore? We're going to talk 100% today. I waited all day yesterday. Dom said, no. Kenzie said, yes, Dom. I'm not taking your shit. I'm done letting you walk all over me. I'm choosing today. Dom said, nah. She says, not you. Yes. You say I'm bossy when you get to decide everything. You make things so one-sided. If I want to talk. Dom says, nah, we're on a break. She says, you let me effing talk. No, we're not. She says, WTF. F you, we're not on a break. I'm about to freak the F out. Dom says, yeah, it's about time. She says, no. He says, yeah. She says, we're not. Okay, we can play games. Dom says, I'm getting in the shower. It's now 3:04 p.m. She says, no, you're not. Here's what's happening and what's not. We're talking today. We're not on a break. You're done treating me like shit, and you're going to put more effort. See you soon, babe. Or should I say, now, see you now. And then she says, you're effing done treating me anyway, but with love and respect. We're not going on a break because you're mad that I want love and respect. I give you so much of both of those N-word, like WTF. You've been treating me like shit for the last 2 days, and I'm so done with it. If I think it's a big deal, then it's a big effing deal. We're not going on any sort of break. I will let you hang with Sheen till 5, but at 5, we're hanging out. And then, wait, what's the time? So it's 5:19, 3:21 p.m. And then she sends a link to Love and Respect, a book. Dom says, we probably need a break. She says, no, the F we don't. She says, come out. We're not going on any type of break. I'm 100% fine. You're the one who's making this difficult for no reason. Like, why the F did you have to start being a dick on FaceTime for no reason? You would rather go on an effing break than talk shit out? That's so effed up and makes me want to F someone up. You say I'm bossy. I never get a choice. You don't even come to my effing house. Dom says, bitchy would work better. Kenzie says, you bet your ass I'm gonna be the biggest bitch in the world right now when I find out my babe is lying and hiding shit from me. I am done getting treated with no respect or getting no effort from you. Like, you give nothing for no reason. Come out so I can go hang with Lexi. When she leaves at 5, I'm coming back over too, and we're going to talk. Now you don't get to say we're not talking. Dom says, nah. She says, yeah, we actually are. And if you say no, there's going to be a surprise. Dom says, no. She said, okay, you want the surprise right now? Question mark. Want to guess? Question mark. Do you still want to chill with Shane? Or do you want me to stay and not let that happen? See, this is what happens when you choose not to care about my feelings. This is what happens when you think you're better than other people. She says, honestly, I'm mad. I can't believe you would rather go on a break than talk about shit. That's bothering me. You afraid I know too much? Question mark. Dom says, I guess we're actually done. She says, no, we're not. All you have to do is talk to me. Then I'm leaving and hanging with Lexi. Dom says, nah, F you. He says, nah, F y'all. She says, y'all. And then she says, I think my leg is bleeding. It's bleeding in 3 spots. And it's stinging. Now we can talk and then I'll leave, or you can keep acting like a baby. Because if you F me over, I'm going to tell my mom what happened today. Wait. Why is her leg bleeding? And what is she saying she's going to tell her mom about? And Natalie Shirilla, what are you going to do about it? He's so terrible that she wants to spend all her time with him. I know, right? Yeah, please hit the like button, guys. Why does she have Dom's mom's number? I never had my... Yeah, she does. She does. I know. When she's like, I had a dream about you last night. She knows too much. Threatening him. She's threatening him right there. She's like, I know too much about your drug deals and whatnot. So Natalie knew she was a whack job. Why is her leg bleeding? I wonder if she like cut herself or if they got into a fight or something. She says, because if you F me over, I'm going to tell my mom what happened today. My leg is effed up. Sorry, I was just taking a drink of my coffee and then I spilt it. Shaving? Oh, I didn't even think of that. You're right, Cree. She could be shaving, I guess. She said, my leg is effed. Skin is peeling. Dom said, you shouldn't have been flinging around like a maniac. Oh. Kenzie said, so are we talking so you can have with Dev? She says, I swear to God, both my legs are bleeding and cut open. They are stinging. Dom said, Devin laughed. Kenzie said, okay, my legs are bleeding and stinging and my head is throbbing. Like, let me in. Are you heartless? All you had to do was effing talk to me, but you make everything so much worse. Dom says, I'm sorry, but you did that to yourself. She says, I did not. Dom says, yes, you did. She said, no. Do you want your keys? She was like trying to get in through the window. She showed up to his house. She's probably kicking the door or trying to get in through the window. Whoa. She probably bumped it while tweaking. No, because she said she said, "You should have just let me in." And then she says, "Do you want your keys?" It could be the door, I don't know. I was thinking maybe the window because she said she had both cuts on both of her legs. She says, "Do you want your keys?" Dom says, "You're acting crazy. I'm not dealing with it." She says, "Dom, I took a dab and hit a vape. I'm not crazy at all. I want to clean my wounds." Dom says, "Yes, you are." She says, "No, I'm not." Dom says, "Yes, you're being crazy." She said, "Dom, my legs are effing stinging. Let me in. I have your keys. My leg is stinging so bad. It hurts so bad. Let me in. If you don't let me in, I swear. I'm in effing pain, bruh. This all started because you hid shit from me. All of this didn't have to happen, Dom." Dom says, "Where is it even bleeding? I'll let you back in if you let me leave." She says, "We're not breaking up. I'll let you leave because I don't want to see your effing face. You only care about it if it benefits you. And you don't even care that both of my legs are cut the open." He says, "I do, but you did that to yourself." She says, "You don't. Let me in. We're not breaking up. And I'm getting the F out of here. Now let me effing in. Answer." Dom says, "Not right this second." She says, "Yes, right this second. My legs are stinging. Dom, my ride is going to be here soon. OMG." Then she said, nice to know you like to let me suffer." She says, "F you" at 4:36 p.m. Dom said, "That was not cool. We should probably go on a break." Kenzie said, "What you did was not cool. We cannot hang for like 2 days, but we're not on a break." Dom says, "Need at least 4. We should probably just not hang out for like a month and see how that goes." Kenzie said, "N-word WTF? No, you promised. We are not going on a break. This wasn't fair to me. You can see why I'm upset. I don't want to be lied to or have shit hidden from me. All you had to do was talk to me before 4. Dom said, "All this just makes me want to be done." She said, "Hella people at Yellow Pole. They hoopin'. I don't know if they're adults or kids. Some look like kids, some old. I don't think it's anyone you know. We just smoked there." Dom says, "I don't care." Kenzie said, "Remember, you're the one who started all of this by lying." Dom said, "You started it." Kenzie said, "No, you did by hiding things." Dom said, "No, you did by making it a big deal when it wasn't at all." Kenzie said, "Dom, it's a big deal to me, then it should matter to you." Sad face. Dom said, "It's not a big deal." Kenzie said, "I didn't want to argue about it because I don't care that you chilled with Maddie. I just wish you told me." Dom says, "Then I don't know why you had to do all of that." Kenzie said, all you had to do was talk to me though." Dom said, "I did." Kenzie said, "Dom, I wanted to talk in person and you couldn't even try to talk before 4. Dom said, "Because I knew it was just going to be annoying AF." Kenzie said, "If you would have just took the time to talk, it wouldn't be annoying. It only got annoying because you wouldn't talk to me." Dom says, "Yes, it would have." Kenzie says, "Dom, if anything's bothering me, I want to know that you will take the time to talk to me about it." Dom says, "I'm not going to do that." Kenzie said, "You can't talk to me?" Dom said, "Yeah." She says, "That's messed up, Dom. If you want to say hi, I'm getting the pig right now." I don't know what that means. She says at 7:55 p.m. He says, "I'm not home." Kenzie said, "I saw your car." Dom said, "I left." Kenzie said, "I didn't see you leave. LOL." Dom says, "I didn't see you there. I thought I seen the van at the neighbors though." Kenzie said, "LMAO. We now have 5 pigs. Maybe later, if you're not doing anything, we can hang for a little and just chill." Dom said, "Nah." Kenzie said, "Why nah?" Dom said, "Because I don't want to." She says, whatever, LMFAO. Then she says, "I want to chill with you soon though. I'm going to be out of bud and dabs in 1 to 2 days." Dom said, "Not if you're acting up." She says, I'm only going to act up if you lie or hide shit from me." Dom said, nah, you was way extra acting up. Kenzie says, because you wouldn't talk to me, sad face. It was just really frustrating today. Dom, can I ask you something? She says at 9:51 p.m. Dom says, what? She says, I'm having a really bad day. Like, I'm bawling my eyes out right now. Like, will you talk to me for a little, please? Dom says, why are you crying? Kenzie said, so much shit is effed right now. Dom says, just stop taking shit so seriously. Kenzie said, so I play MVU when I'm home and have nothing to do. And I work hard on that. Then I got hacked again and they took everything from me. And this time I can't get back. Like everything is just effing me over. I'm asking if you can come get me and drive around and talk to me. Dom says, I'm in the car with the sheesh. Because he said, like, that actually means a lot to me. When you're home? Question mark. Dom says, what is IMVU? Kenzie says, like, I work so hard to get everything taken. The game I make the 𝗠𝗲𝗹𝗆. I showed you before. It just sucks to see shit you worked hard for taken straight from you, even you don't even know till it's done. Dom says, it's just an app, Kenzie. Kenzie said, Dom, that's what I do when I'm here and have no one to talk to. It's one of my favorite games and I work hard on it. It's like if you lost everything you had in Clash right now with no clue where it went. Dom says, I wouldn't care. For real, I'd just restart. Dom says, but I don't know, maybe make a super good password and write it down. Kenzie says, I've been playing for years. I have 2-factor verification and a code to get into my account. I'm so sad. Like nothing works out for me. Dom said, how is it all gone though? She says, I don't even know. I hate computer games because of this. Like I work so hard, then it's just gone. Dom said, maybe it's a sign. F computer games. Kenzie says, but what am I going to do then? Just go on my phone all day? I can't even go outside. It hasn't even been nice. Dom says, I don't know. Find something. Kenzie says, like, can we go on a drive tonight? Dom says, there will be something. Kenzie says, I'm really sad. I like so many things for real. It's just hard to find the stuff to do them or be in the mood. Like I love painting and drawing, and I haven't been in the mood. So I've been weird, like shit sucks. Dom says, don't give your excuses. Don't give yourself excuses. She says, I'm not giving excuses. When my head isn't in the right place, I can't just start drawing. Can we go on a drive? She says, and it's 10:16 p.m. I hate how she has to make like her Dom has to give her her hobbies. Like she can't do anything herself. It's like those zombie movies where you have to barricade yourself in the house. It's sad that he always has to leave and doesn't want to go home. Yeah, the trophy. The trophy. Did somebody say the trophy wife? She's a trophy wife influencer, guys. No. She says, can we go on a drive? Dom says, that's what an excuse is. Look, just relax and go to bed. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm sorry about the fighting. I don't want to fight with you. Kenzie says, I don't want to fight either. I'm just really hurt. Dom says, I was hurt too. You think I want to deal with this shit? That's why I just say it doesn't matter. Drop it. Kenzie says, okay, babe. I'm sorry for flipping. When you don't listen, it makes me feel like you don't care. Dom said, whenever someone tells me to do something, I don't. I do something else. Kenzie said, I feel it. Dom says, what are you doing now? At 11:45 p.m. She says, just watching YouTube. Dom said, I want some new shoes. What shoes do you like? She says, you can pull off some dope shoes. I'll look for some I like. She says, you could get some dope Air Maxes. Dom said, like which ones? Don't try for shit I like because I know what I like. Just show me shit you think is dope. And then she sends a bunch of screenshots of shoes. She says, those are pretty raw. She says, are you getting some shoes? Dom said, all of those are very expensive. The one pair is $13,000. Kenzie says, you would look so good in all the white fours. Do you want me to send you different options? Wait, 13,000? That's some expensive shoe. She says, do you want me to send you different options? She says, my tummy hurts. She says, good night, babe. Dom says, good night, babe, at 12:53 a.m. So in the middle of the night. And then the next morning at 11:22 a.m., he says, what size shoe do you wear? Kenzie said, kids 5.5, women's. Good morning. She says, what are you doing? I think I wear a women's 7 or 6.5. Dom said, that's like 3 different sizes. He says, I'm sorry, babe. I don't want to fight with you. Kenzie says, I don't want to fight with you either, baby. It makes me so upset. I'm sorry too. She loves his message. I wear a kid's 5.5 or woman's 7. Babe, do you want to hang out soon? She says. Dom says, I'm about to go do some shit, then be with Kyle and Ashish. But yeah, probably after. She said, okay, bet. What time are you going to be ready to hang? Estimate, LOL. Dom, she says. Dom says at 2:18 p.m. I don't know. She says, what are you doing? He said, about to stop at Kyle's. She said, how late are you going to be there? Don't ignore me, by the way. Dom said, I wasn't. And I don't know, not long. She says, bet. Then after that, we can chill. Dom says, and after I'm done doing my stuff. Kenzie said, okay, that's fine. You busy today? Dom says, yeah, I've been doing some big stuff. She says, oh, okay, hit me up when you're done. Try to get done early, she says at 3:40 p.m. Dom says, okay. She says, okay, yay. She says, I got it out. I'm in hella pain. Dom says, that's effed up. She said, it was half in my foot. It took like 30 minutes to get out. Are you going to be done soon? Dom says, yes, I'm trying. And check if it's open and when till. Kenzie said, it's an Elwira, right? Dom says, yeah. She says, closes at 9:30. Dom says, bet. Kenzie said, right? And then she says, that was at 5:27. And then she says, I don't know why you turned the lights off at 10:17 p.m. Dom said, oh, I'm sorry. I did that on instinct. I'm sorry, babe. She said, LOL, it's fine. And then she says, your mom got mad at midnight. Just come home. Okay. And then she says, your name isn't on here. Dom says, bet. She says, I'm about to clean it at 2:15 a.m. I don't know what she's talking about. I can't see what's in the picture. She sent a picture of something. He says, bet. She says, I'm about to clean it. And then she says at 2:42 a.m., did you know Black people dying 3 times more than anyone else from corona? Dom said, that's effed. And then she says, good morning, babe, at 11:30 a.m. LMAO, you stayed up late. Then she says, why the F am I blocked on Instagram? Like, question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm trying not to freak out, by the way. She emphasizes her own message. He said, I'm sleeping. She said, okay, but why am I blocked on Instagram? Dom says, I forgot that day was when I was super mad. Kenzie said, oh, I thought you just did it. I was like, what the F did I even do? Unblock me though? Question mark. Hang before the cookout? Question mark. Dom says, maybe. I got to make sure I'm ready though, and it's at 5. Kenzie said, what you got to do? Dom said, shower, go meet up with Bartula and meet a Diop. Kenzie said, what about after you meet up with Bartula? We can hang till 5. Dom says, I would have told you if I could after I meet up with Bartula. She says, okay, question mark, question mark. Dom says, so if you ask to hang with me and I say no, because I have something to do at 5, if you ask to hang again before 5, it's still a no because I already said no. You get what I'm saying? Kenzie says, yeah, just be chill, babe. It's okay if you don't have time to chill. What are you doing though? And also unblock me on Instagram. I don't know why you have to ignore me, babe, she says at 7:45 p.m. You didn't unblock me either. Dom, what the hell? Do not ignore me. You told me you would call me back when you FaceTime me earlier. Then you just ignored me. Dom says, I don't get good connection out here. Kenzie said, just don't ignore me. We don't have to text every 5 minutes. Just, I don't want to be left undelivered for 3+ hours. She says, try to hang when you get home. And how's it going? He says, pretty fun. We're just kicking it. She said, that's good. Was there food? Are you coming back soon? She says at 8:27 p.m. He says, yeah, burger and chicken bees whipping. Kenzie says, I'm so bored, bruh. Like, I can't even play my game without getting anxiety now because I lost all my stuff. Can we hang when you're home? It's about to be dark. You're answering really slow. Dom says, I'm trying to chill. I'll let you know when I come home. It's a far drive, too. Kenzie says, how is it still going on at 9:02 p.m.? It's been like 6 hours, and it's stressing me out how slow you reply. And I'm still not unblocked. She emphasizes her message. This is honestly making me annoyed, she says at 9:26 p.m. Shake my head. I don't text you all day. I let you ignore me from 4 to 8, and I still can't even get a fast text back. Like, it's pitch black outside. How the F is the cookout still going on? I swear, everyone's trying to make me flip the F out today. Dom says, we're just smoking now. She said, smoking where? Dom says, Jared's. She says, bruh, when are you coming back? Sorry. Hold on one second, guys. Hold, please. Sorry, I thought my delivery was here, but it wasn't. At some point, you would think she'd get the hint. No, she doesn't get the hint. Sorry about that. I thought my delivery was here. Okay, where did we leave off? She says, bruh, when are you coming back? She says, you've been there like 7 hours. Hold on. So I'm waiting for my delivery and they usually get lost. Okay, she says, bruh, you've been there for like 7 hours. And I'm blocked on Insta and getting slow replies. Like, I'm getting so annoyed. He says, no, I haven't at 10:04 p.m. She said, since like 4, you've been ignoring me. Dom says, no, I haven't. When I check my phone, I text you. She said, it's just really annoying when I'm trying to talk to you for a little and you have to wait 30 minutes for you to reply. Are you coming home soon or can we just hang tomorrow? Dom says, probably tomorrow or something because it's now 10:32 p.m. Okay. Let me grab my delivery. I'm going to leave this video playing for you guys while.
Hey, it's Mackenzie Shirilla. How are you? Hey.
Good, how are you?
Can you help us? She's not on social media, but there are one person in particular who's personally reaching out to her saying terrible, horrible things. It's basically harassment. Is there anything you can do to help us stop her?
Who's the person?
It's Morgan for Biggie. She's saying terrible. We screenshotted things.
Well, I can't do anything about that, to be honest with you. The only thing I can tell you is she needs to stay off her phone.
Well, that's how she's talking to her friends and messages.
I understand.
But sometimes people make a visit to their house saying, stop, knock it off. We know what you're doing. And this is like, it's cyberbullying.
Well, at this point, the only thing I can tell you is the best thing she can do is stay off social media. People are talking. People have not stopped. People are not going to stop. At this point,
okay.
you have a lot of people talking, and unless they say we're going to come kill you or something of that sort,
okay.
There's very little in terms of what can be done. We will kind of put another Facebook, if you want, like a public on the Strongsville police page saying to knock it off with the...
No, don't do that because that'll just draw more attention.
Oh.
That's a call with Mackenzie Shirilla and one of the detectives when Kenzie was being bullied. Sorry, thank you for waiting. Okay, she says, it's under the video tabs if you guys want to listen to it. He says, probably tomorrow or something. She says, I didn't have a good day today. My baby Pinky isn't doing good. Dom said, what happened? Kenzie said, he just got super skinny all of a sudden. It's sad because that was my first pig. He said, oh, you said Pinky. You mean Piggy? She said, Pinky is his name. My guinea pig. The gray one. Slow reply, LOL. Are you home? She says at midnight. He says, on the way. She said, I'm so uncomfortable right now. Like, I hate it so much. Dom said, what is uncomfortable? She says, are you for real? He says, what? Do I sound dumb? She said, Dom, you just asked me what is uncomfortable. Did you drink or something? He says, yeah, not a lot though. She says, oh, I for real can't sleep. She says at 5:40 a.m. Then at 6:18, she says, well, I didn't sleep last night. He says, are you up at 10:46? She says, now I am at 12:04 in the middle of the day. She said, I got like 3 hours of sleep. Dom says, how? She says, I don't even know, Dom. I couldn't sleep for shit. I even took a small dab. Do you want to hang out soon? She questions her message. He says, I got to do shit first. But yeah, we could. She says, okay, yay. Do you think you will be busy? Like, will it take a long time? He says, I don't know. Right now, not that busy. She says, okay, bet. I'm just not trying to sit in the room all day. I don't even have my game to play. She says, think about bringing me on your runs, though. He said, if you want, I'll let you come to my house at some point, even if I'm not there right away. She says, okay, bet. You gonna be done soon? She said at 3:12 p.m. I don't know why you're ignoring me. She says at 3:56 p.m. He says, sorry, I actually been packed and I was on the phone with big homie. It sucks because of course it's the day after I've been drinking and shit. Kenzie said, yeah, for real. She says, can I come with you? I'm trying to hang before 6. Dom says, I don't know, babe, because we're just going to have nothing to do. It's all rainy. Kenzie said, I know it's rainy, but I'm going to be tired early tonight. And I sat home all day yesterday. I want to be out today. Please just bring me, babe. He says, I have to go to people I don't know right now, though. So give me more time. She says, okay, let me know. I really need to get out of my house, though. Dom says, I literally set my phone down for 5 minutes and had 14 Snapchat notifications. Why today? Actually, it's a good day because it's rainy. He says, but I do want to hang with you. She loved his message. I sat home all day yesterday. It was really lonely. I want to see my babe. He says, you will, babe. She said, okay, try to hang with me soon, please. I'm bored. Dom says, I am stupid busy. She says, yeah, for real. I want to let you do your stuff because that's a lot of money. If you can't bring me, I'll help you. If it's cool, if not too. Dom said, nothing to help with. She said, oh, are you just not trying to bring me? I'm like so bored. It's stressing me out. Dom says, go eat food. She says, question mark, are you joking? He says, to be honest, no, I do that when I'm bored. She says, I'm not just going to force myself to eat when I'm bored and have hella anxiety. That's not how it works. Try to be done soon. She says, don't ignore me at 6:03 p.m. He says, I'm not. I don't like when you push me. She says, I'm just trying to chill, not push you. And also, Destiny asked me if you can drop her a cart yesterday. Dom says she should just hit me up. Kenzie says, I'll tell her to. Text her. Do you think you're going to be done soon? Did you mean to leave me on red? He says, no. I'm still busy and haven't ate and my stomach hurts and I'm not in the mood. Everyone at the house is freaking out, so let me get my bearings. She said, okay, that's cool. Hit me up when everything's cool. I just went shopping and I'm binging Bad Girls Club. He says, LOL. Phone's about to die. She said, charge it, babe. He said, and I'm stuck on the toilet. She said, LMAO. No, that's the worst. Just make sure you're on low power mode and only go on Insta. He says, it's shut off, but now I'm back. She says, LMAO. You still got more runs? She says at 7:31 p.m. Do you think you will let me come chill soon? He says, I still got to do some shit. She says, can I come with you? It will be fun. He says, no, babe. She says, please, babe, I sat home all day again. I want to do something so bad. He says, no. Her day like literally revolves around him. Like she just lives and breathes thinking about Dom and hanging out before 6 and 4 and damn kids. Her parents should have been charged for like neglect. At some point, you would think she would get the hint. No, she doesn't get the hint. He says, no. Sorry, but I have a lot going on. I need to do my stuff, and my mom is crying because Angelo almost died. Dom says at 7:41 p.m. Kenzie says, what? How the F did Angelo almost die? Why don't you tell me this stuff? Kenzie said he crashed 120 on the highway drunk. Why couldn't I ever remember that? Whoa. She says, what? Dom says, everyone has been tweaking hella. Kenzie said, holy shit, is he in the hospital right now? Like, this is effed. Do what you gotta do, Dom. I'm here if you need me. Dom said, no, he's like almost fine, but he took like 10 Xanax when he got home. Like 9, actually, but like WTF. Kenzie said, WTF. Angelo wildin' lately. When you're done, can you scoop? He says, something else happened. I can't talk on the phone. I'll tell you later. She says, oh God, okay. She says, let me know when I can come. We can just chill and I'll rub your back. She says, babe, at 9:11 p.m. It's getting late, babe. Dom said, something really serious happened. I don't know when I'll be able to chill. Kenzie said, what happened, Dom? I'm worried. She said, call me. I just hope everything's chill right now. I'm really worried. He said, I'm all right. Everything's getting controlled. She says, tell me what happened, babe. I'm worried. He says, I will later. We all good though. She said, okay, I have really bad anxiety. Later, do you want to come scoop me and we go to Foltz and we can just chill and talk? She says, babe, what's going on right now? Call me back, she says at 11:06 p.m. That convo low-key made me really sad. Dom said, I get frustrated. Kenzie said, I wasn't trying to frustrate you. I miss you. I just wanted to catch up and talk for a little. And the whole time I felt like you just wanted to get off the phone. Dom says, not in the beginning, but yeah, after a while, we'll chill, babe. I'm sorry. I need to give you more time, but I really don't have any to myself. So like, it's like my busy time. Then when I'm with you more, then I'm free. That takes up all my time. Kenzie says, I understand, baby. Just have fun with Bernie tonight. You deserve it, but please hang with me early tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do if I can't see you for another day. He says, I'm probably not going to hang with Bernie. She says, oh, why? Dom says, I just burned hella plastic. I feel guilty. She says, why and where? He says, in my yard. Had more stuff. And then she's, wow, it's 3:49 p.m. She sends a picture of something at 3:49 a.m. And then she says, text me when you're up at 10:13. She says, babe, let me come over when you're up. My outfit is so cute. Dom says, yeah, but you gotta give me something. Kenzie says, what I gotta give you? He says, come over. She says, give me 5 minutes. Curly or braid? He says, braid. She says, bet, I'ma come now, on my way. He said, don't effing lock my car. Wait, so she goes over there 11:51 a.m. and then at 5:43 he says, don't effing lock my car. She said, what? He says, don't lock my car. She said, okay. She said, that dog was somehow in your house. I just got him out. Dom says, LOL. Kenzie says, LMAO, what are you doing? Are you on the way back? Dom says, I need your Addy. What phone number and email to? He says, yo. She says, what? Oh, and then she gives a number. And then she gives an address. She said, I was shaving. Sorry, babe. Question mark? He says, my phone died. She said, oh, okay. Did you get the stuff? And are you going to be done soon? Dom says, no, about to do it. She said, okay, bet. Scoop me when you're done. Remember, don't overdraft. He says, I know. He says, email. She sends her email. She said, first. He said, for sure. She said, scoop when done. Dom said, I need a different email for it. She sends a different email. She said, that's 100% it. Did I spell it wrong? Did you spell it wrong? He says, invalid billing email, it said. She sends her email again. Copy and try again. He said, caps or no caps? I'm doing it off computer. She said, no caps. Sends a screenshot. She says, see? Dom said, I used no caps. It said wrong. Kenzie said, try this. She sends an email, a screenshot. She says, I'm confused. It's 9:15 p.m. She says, it worked. I see. LOL. What email was it? Dom, can you come now? You've been there for so long. Dom says, I'm about to have the order done. Sheen get off at 10 anyways. She said, okay, come scoop as soon as you're done. She says, are you about to be done? At 9:44 p.m. Babe. Dom said, 20 more minutes, babe. Sorry. She said, bruh, what the hell? Dom, you told me you would only be there for a little. Like, can you just scoop me and we can buy the rest on my phone or something? Like, we were supposed to hang at 10. I've been waiting. She says, bruh, it's 9:57. She says, you're not even buying anything either. Dom says, I did. About to leave in 5. Chill. She says, fine. I've been ready, so tell me when you're leaving. You on the way, she says? At 10:11 p.m. Then it jumps to the next day, the 24th at 10:56 a.m. She says, beach day, morning, babe. He says, yeah, we could probably go. She says, I'm tanning right now. It's so hot. I woke up excited AF. Dom says, I woke up mad AF. She says, really? Sad face. That sucks. That happened to me yesterday. Text me soon. He said, today, Topher is chiefing cigs in the living room again. She says, oh my God. Dom says, I'm waiting till they leave the room. I'm gonna go sit down and smoke my wood from last night. Kenzie said, LMAO, I was too tired to hit that wood. I barely remember it. Do you got a lot to do today? When are you trying to go to the beach? Dom says, well, Kyle didn't hit me up for an hour, so that didn't help. But yeah, I gotta run a couple places and I'm free. She says, okay, bet. She said, FaceTime. 4 seconds. It'll be worth it. Dom says, I'm reading something right now. She says, you gonna be ready for the beach soon, babe? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Did they answer though? Babe? Rocky River, she says. No response. She says, we gotta drive down Lake Road. There's hella beaches. She says, we should just go on a jet ski. Dom says, I'll talk to you on the phone in a sec. She said, okay, bet. And that was at 2:47 p.m. Then she says, you gonna be done soon? At 10:11 p.m. She says, I'm cold now. Dom said, of course you are. You can go back if you want. I don't know how much longer. My stomach hurt. Kenzie says, are you okay? She says, I'm gonna wait for you, of course. LOL. She says, Nikki was looking for you. Dom said, I'm gonna still use Lana's computer though. What did she want? Kenzie said, okay, and she wanted butt again. She wants you to get it. She just came back again. Dom says, oh. Kenzie says, LOL. Dom says, go grab her some bud and grab me a jacket. Kenzie said, how much do I get her and what bag? Dom says, open the silver bag and just grab some nugs. Kenzie said, okay, I'm going right now. Dom said, okay. He says, grab a jacket for yourself. She said, where's bags? Never mind. Dom says, I haven't been able to go back to sleep. Okay, wait. So she says, never mind. 10:16 p.m. The next day, Dom says, I haven't been able to go back to sleep at 6 o'clock in the morning. She says, really? Did you sleep at Nikki's? It's open right now. Dom says, come over. No, I was in my bed. She said, okay, I will in 10. I'm re-braiding her hair. No, I mean, when we were there. Dom said, come over soon. We got to get food and stuff because the trip is long. She says, okay, I'm coming ASAP. I'm about to be done with hair in like 2 minutes. She says, get my green swimsuit, babe. Dom said, what? She said, it's somewhere in your room, maybe. Dom said, should I shower before we go? Kenzie said, no. Dom said, okay. She says, you're just going to get more dirty. She says, on my way at 11:17 a.m. She says, are you showering, babe? Dom said, no, I'm shitting, but I actually don't think any of these places are open, so you might just have to go home. Kenzie said, what? He says, yeah, keep calling. They don't answer. She says, Kenzie said, it says they're open though. Dom says, try calling them. She says, okay. Dom sends a screenshot. He said, it's this one too. She said, did it just go to voicemail for you? A robot said go to the website for prices and hours. Dom says, you're on the wrong one. Go to the other one. I'm not driving an hour and 15 minutes to go home. Kenzie says, I'm calling the other one right now, but the first one I called, a robot answered. Dom said, it just keeps ringing. She said, no, the second one just answered. That one isn't open till June 1st, I think. It was a guy and he sounded mad. They both opened June 1st. Sad face. I looked on the website. Dom says, so they're not open at all? Kenzie said, I just talked to the Loudonville one on the phone, and the website says it's closed until June. Dom said, what did they say? Kenzie said, he said we're not open till June 1st. He sounded mad too, LMAO. Dom said, why is he there then? Kenzie said, right? That's confusing. There's another one called Burning Rivers. I've never been there though. And then she sends the address, Burning River Adventures. Sends a picture and a link. She said, I found 2 open places. Dom said, which one? She said, paddle the river. Oh, it's kayak rentals. He said, Burning River's booked. Kenzie said, I just called them. They gave me paddle the river. Dom says, they said there one open in Warren and what they told you too? Kenzie said, I think so. Call them. Dom said, the one I just called is only a 3-mile ride. Kenzie said, did it work? Dom says, they're open, but it's only a 3-mile ride. Kenzie sends Google screenshots. He says, are you dipping? Wait, so that was that. So the screenshots were on the 25th. Then it jumps to the 26th at 1 in the morning. So he says, are you dipping? She said, yeah, I told you I have to. That's why I gave you hella kissies. Dom says, oh, I don't remember. I just got up. She says, you were sleeping. I didn't even know. Dom says, LOL. You were too. She says, LMAO, I thought you were up. I gave you like 50 hugs and kissies before I left. She says, my mom just told me a cool spot for sunset watching in Lakewood. It's about to be 90 today, she says at 11:20 a.m. WTF? Dom says, wow. Kenzie said 90, right? I'm about to go to the high school to get shit out of my locker. I think I just seen Carl by Wendy's. Shoveling mulch. If you want to hang today, let me know. It's cool if you want to get shit done though. Then she says, cliff jumping soon? Maybe, LOL, at 1:06 p.m. She says, it's hot enough to swim. Dom says, no, the water will still be cold. Kenzie said, you think? She says, I'm on the way to the dentist. She says, I think John Shuba shaded AJ. Dom says, what? Kenzie said, I think he was talking shit. Dom said, probably, that kid's a PUSSY. Kenzie says, LMAO. She says, what are you doing at 3:08 p.m.? He says, bought a hoop with Thomas. She said, sounds fun. I have to stop smoking June 3rd for my dentist. If I don't, I could go into coma or some shit. Dom said, really? Why and how? She said, I'm getting put to sleep to get my 10 cavities fixed. Effing 10. Kenzie has 10 cavities. Like, she talks to her dad like ish. She does. She'll probably stop feeding it if she's evil. Oh, Pumpkin's crying in the background. Were you guys talking about the guinea pig? That's funny. She says, I'm getting put to sleep to get my 10 cavities fixed. Dude. Like, has she ever been to the dentist? Holy shit. I guess let me know in the chat if you've ever had 10 cavities before, because I'll be concerned. Molly, does that surprise you really? No, I'm just like, did Natalie ever take her to the damn dentist? Vacay said, damn, brush your teeth, girl. She doesn't have time to brush her teeth, okay? She's too busy fighting with Dom. She says, effing 10. And weed affects how the gas works, so I gotta just stop. Why is she so dramatic? She's gonna be fine. That doesn't have the mental. Just take her damn. Abby's like, just pull him out. My dentist has never told me that. I've never had 10 cavities though, and have to been through that. So, but they've never told me that you can't smoke with the laughing gas. I wonder how many cavities she has now. Ooh. And the dentists in prison are no bueno. Sucks for her. She's going to be toothless by the time she gets out of prison. That's what I'm saying. She does act like the spoiled girl in Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. She said, and weed affects how the gas works, so I gotta just stop. And then she sends a link to like a TikTok or something. She says, I'm really bored. Are you still ballin'? At 5:24 p.m. She says, Dom. He says, sorry, yeah, I'm done. I'm still chilling with them though. She says, if you want to hang when you're done, let me know. She said, everyone doing fun stuff. Then she sends a screenshot of something. She says, what do I want me to do? What do you want me to do? Dom said, nothing. Kenzie said, did you read that? Dom said, yeah, ask for a refund. Kenzie says, how? He says, I don't know. We'll figure it out. She said, okay, just let me know. She says, I almost just got stung by a bee at 6:19 p.m. Dom says, wait, don't do anything. I'll talk to you about it. She says, I won't, babe. She says, are you going to be with them all day? It's cool if you are. She says, why did you leave me on red? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. More question marks. I don't know if your phone died or you blocked me, but this is stressing me the F out, she says at 7:47 p.m. You just left me on red like 35 minutes ago and you still haven't answered. I do not like this at all. How come all my calls are going through, but my texts are graying? She emphasized her message. Dom, I'm about to be mad AF. An effing hour? WTF. You can't just be super nice to me for a while and then start doing this shit again. WTF, she says at 8:24 p.m. This shit is effing annoying. I know you're on your phone. Calls are going through. Dom says, I was chilling and went to text you back. Then it died. Then we started balling again. My bad. It was really intense. I'm dead. She says, I'm really irritated when you do that. Oh, it's really irritating when you do that. Like I thought you blocked me. I don't like when you do that to me. Also, are you going to be home soon? She says at 8:28 p.m. Or don't answer, LOL. Dom says, I didn't mean to. She says, then call back. Question mark? LMAO. Dom says, I don't know when I'll be home. I'm still balling. She said, okay, that's cool. Have fun balling. You probably tan AF. When you're done, will you scoop me? He says, maybe. She says, okay, don't ignore me. He says, thank you. Jones came over. He's wearing an Astro World shirt. She says, LOL. Of course he is. His home screen is probably that too. Dom says, to be honest, I think it is. I'll try to look. And then she says, good night, baby, at 11:06 p.m. He says, good night. She says, text me tomorrow morning. Let's do something. He says, okay, I got to do something in the morning, then I'll hit you up. She says, okay, bet. He says, I have some stuff to do though. Shouldn't be that much. She said, just try to be done fast, babe. He says, okay, at 1:03 a.m. He says, vape stuff going good. She says, what do you mean? Did you get the licenses or something? He says, in the process. She says, oh, did Thomas trade shoes with you? Wanna FaceTime? I'm tired till I'm tired again. And then she says, that's at 1:05 a.m. Then she says, good morning, babe, on the 27th at 11:13 a.m. Get your stuff done fast today or bring me. I want to be outside. Babe, Charlie's is open. He said, at the mall? She said, yes. I'm there right now with my mom. He said, that's dope. She says, yeah, now we don't have to drive far AF, LMAO. Try to be done soon. She said, let's go to an abandoned place at 1:18 p.m. He says, where? It might be too hot for abandoned place. The buildings get hot. She said, oh, for real? I didn't even think of that. He said, because it gets so humid and dusty, hard to breathe. She says, yeah, you're probably right, LMAO. Want to just like go to the waterfall or something or play basketball? I don't care. I just want to be outside with you. Dom said, I was thinking we would do an abandoned place another day because it's supposed to cool down again. She says, also, can you FaceTime for a little? I want to show you stuff at 1:22. And then she says, okay. He says, sorry, I didn't see these texts. You want to FaceTime now? She says, Maddie want to know if you want to go cliff jumping today. This is what bugs me. It's like, okay, you were mad at him and gave him shit for like how many days? I don't know. About him having Maddie under Joseph and hanging out. But then you don't get mad at Maddie. Like, she's supposed to be a quote unquote friend. And then you want them to hang out together. So like, what was the point of you even harassing Dom? Yes, Drakey, these are May 2020. Kenzie a yuck mouth. She acts like she does act a lot. Oh yeah, I already read that one. To fight about anything, exactly. She says, Maddie want to know if you want to go cliff jumping today. I told her it's not warm enough, but I'll tan and maybe jump one time. She says, it's hot AF. She says, do not ignore me at 4:39 p.m. He says, I'm not. I'm doing paperwork. She said, do you want to go to the beach? Me and Maddie and you can bring Carl and whoever. Or we can just hang me and you. Dom says, I don't know. Maybe. I still got shit to do. She says, hit me up when you're done. When you thinking about being done? It might start getting cold soon. Dom says, I still got some shit to do soon though. She said, how much? Like over an hour? He says, it won't be that long. I'll let you know. It's 5:35 p.m. He says, yeah, probably a little. She said, that's a while. Can you just try to get shit done fast so we can swim? He says, yeah. She says, okay, bet. She says, try to be done at like 6:30 or 7. She says, honestly, it's already getting colder. Dom says, where are we going to swim? She said, somewhere where the water isn't -30. Dom says, I don't know. We probably can't swim in a lake. Why is she trying to swim at 6 p.m.? Kenzie says, it can just be a chill spot. I don't care. We can bring my canoes to Wallace Lake and I have a paddleboard. Or we could go to a cliff jumping spot. And if you just roll a wood, Maddie won't remember where the spot is. LOL. She says, I don't know why you just stopped talking, but that's cool. Hit me up when you're home. Me and Maddie about to drive somewhere. She says, I just seen Kyle and Kristen. Or just ignore me, for real. She emphasized her message. Dom said, sorry, I was doing shit at 7:35 p.m. She says, do you want to go to Edgewater with me, Maddie, and Alexa? They can drive. She says, we're going later, but can me and Maddie come chill with you right now? Dom says, what time y'all going? She says, tonight sometime. She says, I seen you hooping. She says, do you want to go? Dom said, yeah, let me shower real quick. I had to hoop with them, then we can chill. And yeah, the beach dope at night. She says, me and Maddie can walk over after you shower. And bet. He says, maybe. She said, hit me up after you shower. LOL. She says, we're going soon at 8:27 p.m. We can scoop. Babe, get ready fast. Bruh, I'm about to be mad AF. You better be ready because you're coming with us, babe. He says, I'm about to shower. She says, you don't have time. You're going to get more dirty. Dom says, you soaked. Wait. I'm soaked. She said, just shower tomorrow. He says, no. She said, how fast will you be? He says, super soaked. She says, do you have to wash your hair? LOL. He said, yeah. She said, just wash body fast AF. Then we're scooping you. He says, I gotta wash my hair. She said, oh my God, no. I swear to God, just do it tomorrow. You said you would come. Please do it later. It's already 8:40 p.m. She says, please, babe. He says, I gotta wash my hair. Give me half hour. She said, okay, hurry. Wait, he says, or just go without me. She said, Dom, please just shower later. I want you to come. Please? Please, babe, I really want you to come. Just wash your body really fast. Dom says, I have to at least shower. I have to wash my hair. Kenzie said, just wash your body and hurry. Not your hair, please. Babe, please, just your body. I want you to come like this, please. I'm for real begging you to do this for me. Dom says, why do I have to be so fast? She said, it's already 9. Please come. We're just trying to leave like now, but I'm waiting for you. It's already late. Dom said, just leave then. She says, Alexa feast. I don't know what that means. She says, no, you said you would come. Dom says, you're rushing me. She says, like, can you please just wash your body? You said you can come. I wouldn't have been rushing if you answered a while ago. Dom says, I don't know though. She says, I thought you were already in the shower. Like you told me you were. I'm about to be mad AF. You effing told me you would come. That's the only way I will go. Dom says, I'm about to get in. She says, I'm about to flip. I want you to come. Dom says, you're making me wait to get in. She said, just get in and don't wash your hair. Like no one wants to wait. He said, just go then. She said, I want you to come though. It's so fun for me. Dom says, I'm in the shower right now. She said, it's not going to be fun if you don't come. Just wash body. You're going to get more dirty. Please just wash your body and get ready fast. Dom says, nah. She says, WTF. Thanks, Dom. I don't know why you can't do shit for me when I ask. I told you I'm not going to have fun without you, bruh. Like, we all want you to come. Dom says, you're making me mad now. She says, I'm mad. What the F? You told me you could come. Dom says, I thought we were going at night. Kenzie said, I said it's later and it's late. Now you have to shower and wash your whole body. It is night. It's going to be dark soon. Please come. Dom, I'm for real. I'm just not going to go if you don't come. He says, N-word, I could be washing my hair right now instead of texting you. She says, how fast can you be out? Be out in 20 minutes or less. We can wait at your house if you want. Alexa has to be home at 11. I need you to answer. They're saying now or never. Can you just meet us there? Dom says, okay, then go. I'm still in shower. She says, I'm mad AF at you. Thanks for not effing trying at all. We were supposed to effing hang today. Thanks, Dom. Like, you could have just washed your body off, but you had to be extra just because you feel like it, and it's not effing cool. And now I'm upset AF, she says at 8:52 p.m. I shouldn't have even got my hopes up. Dom says, so can I wash my hair now? She says, wow, you're such an effing dick. What the F is wrong with you? Are you trying to be funny? He says, I'm being for real. She said, it's not effing funny. Dom said, y'all are going, right? She says, you were going to wash your hair in the first place, the F, because you only care about what you're doing. I texted you like an hour and a half ago. I can't believe you did this shit. Shit fake as hell when you tell me later I'm effing ready. And of course, you have to wash your whole entire body. Then when I'm trying to take you to effing Edgewater and you're not even going to say sorry or anything. You know, I wanted you to come, but you never do anything I ask. Dom said, I didn't know we was going at 9. She said, it closes at 9, Dom. Later is 9. Dom said, the F, we do so much. She says, I'm so effing mad at you. Like, WTF. Dom says, you didn't tell me that. Kenzie said, well, now I get to get upset. Thanks so much. Thanks for doing this, Dom. It means a lot. He said, I still have my hair tied up. I guess I'll just wash it. Thanks for making me waste hot water. Kenzie said, like, ignore me all day, then you do this. You ignore me all effing day. Like, I was surprised you even said yes. So I got excited. Then you screw me over. Like, I don't even want to go anymore. Now I'm upset. I just wanted to hang with you. Like you said we could early AF today. Like, I love getting screwed over. It makes me so happy. The F. Like, you can't even apologize. You know I wanted you to come so bad. She says, I for real want to go home. You better come to Edgewater. He says, I'm not coming to Edgewater when you're being a brat. She said, a brat? You're the one who effing ditched me. He says, yeah, and you're being a brat about it. She says, for sure. Next time, don't ditch me at 9:07 p.m. He says, I really didn't, but all right. She says, you did, but it's cool. Be ready next time. He says, nah, I'm cool. She says, answer. Are you effing joking? He says, why? What? She says, you're really asking me what? When you effing had one? He says, y'all already went. Nah, what the F is wrong with you? She says, you were supposed to come with us. You chose to shower long ago. Dom says, well, you rushed me, so now I'm gonna get the rest of my shit done, then do something. She says, you can drive here. Like, you make me look real stupid when you F me over and then post about the move like 5 minutes later. Dom says, I just want to go smoke a blunt or something. She says, nah, WTF, you could have smoked with us. You made me look so dumb. Answer right now. Answer the phone right now, she says. He doesn't answer. And she says, right now. Right now. Right now. He says, why? She says, right now. Answer right now. Dom, if you don't answer, we're going to have beef. Dom, right now. If you don't answer, we're going to have beef. He doesn't answer. At 9:44 p.m., she says, you're such a liar and a dick. He says, we can smoke later, I guess. She said, you trying to smoke with me and Maddie? At 10:47 p.m., me and Maddie want to come over. Answer. Okay, we have beef right now. I'm done with this BS. You can't just ignore me whenever you effing feel like it. I guess me and Maddie will just come over when we back if you want to be like that. He says, nah. What? She says, I don't know why you think you can open Maddie's Snap and then completely ignore me. I'm not doing this quote unquote ignoring shit. You need to stop now. Like, you'd be doing the most petty shit. Like, I don't give an F anymore. Why would I give an F? He says, I opened it by accident. She said, you opened it and still ignored me at 11:04 p.m. You better not open that Snapchat before you open my text message. Hey, Mary Beth. Ugh. Yeah, we're going to have beef. We're going to have beef. Don't blame him. He's trying to shower. Remember, the hair thing, the showering thing, it becomes a regular thing in the coming year, okay? Yeah, no, he better not shower. No one has time for that. The next time my husband showers, we are the divorce talk. Meaning you're like, don't wash your hair. And if you do, I'm signing the divorce papers. How old was she? She was like, she's, I think, almost 16 here. Yeah, I think she's almost, well, because she turned 18 in 2022. Yeah, she's like 16 here. She said, you opened it and still ignored me. You chose not to answer me for no reason. And you're still on D&D for no reason. Dom said, no, I'm not on D&D. So no, I'm on D&D. So I don't see your text. You know, he's bald. Oh, Nene, stop. No, that's funny. She's 15 at the time of these texts. Where the heck were her parents? I don't know, boomer. I don't know. Where is Natalie Shirilla? Natalie Shirilla, I know you're listening because you said something about it, girl. So where were you at? Where were you at? At 11:05 p.m. Come control your offspring. She says, Dom says, no, I'm on D&D, so I don't see your text. Kenzie says, then get the F off. You have no reason to be on D&D other than to make me upset. And if you say no, then what did you do, huh? Dom says, what? She says, you have no reason to still be on D&D. And if you're not ignoring me, then what are you doing that for? Treat me how you treated me the last 2 days. We did fun stuff. Dom said, stop being a brat. She said, I'm not being a brat. You're the one being petty. LMAO, still. He doesn't respond. She says, childish AF. Stop treating me like shit, bruh. He says, no, I'm just chilling. She says, I'm with Carl. He said, nice. She said, you need to say sorry to me too, by the way. You did me wrong today and you know you did. Get off D&D, stop treating me bad, and reply fast, she says at 11:15 p.m. She said, it's not that hard, bruh. You can't just be disrespectful whenever you feel like it. I don't deserve this. He doesn't respond. And she says, let me hang early tomorrow. Dom said, no, you're being a brat. She said, if you call me that again, we're going to have issues. He said, you ain't getting anywhere acting like a brat. Kenzie said, you treat me so shitty sometimes. You shouldn't be able to do that so easily. It's effed up. Dom said, sure. She said, what the F is wrong with you? Do you just do this for fun? You really did me wrong today. I swear, you just keep doing me wrong. You can't even apologize or be nice. Dom says, nah, all I did was not hang with you because I didn't know we had to leave by 9. I mean, it's not like I'm just not going to shower. And then you started acting like a brat, so then I didn't chill with you. Kenzie says, I told you that we were going later. 2 hours before I texted you, we're coming soon. And you didn't answer for like 20 minutes. And the only reason I got mad was because you had to take a full ass shower that we both know takes over 30 minutes. Then I'm texting you, obviously upset, yet you continue to be rude. It's not fair, and I never deserve to be treated like this. Like, why is it so effing hard to be nice to me? Just because we had a good ass last couple days does not mean you can just ignore and be rude the next couple days. Like, I swear, you're just trying to make me flip the F out. Dom says, I was only supposed to play 1 game, but I had to play 2. But yeah, nah, still not a big deal. And even if I rushed in the shower, I probably still wouldn't have made it. Kenzie says, did you not remember said yes to going? I'm not having this fight. I'm so done with it, she says at 11:37 p.m. Next time, you better not pull some shit like that. It's annoying AF. You can apologize to me and just try to hang tomorrow. Or when I'm home, just me, FaceTime me. I'm about to be home soon. He says, I didn't know we had to leave by 9. I thought we were going at night. Kenzie says, I mean, by the time we got there, it was dark. Dom says, I don't know if I can hang tomorrow. She said, why? ... Bruh, I'm honestly so effing mad. Get off D&D right now, by the way, too. He says, no, I gotta leave it on. She said, why? You're for real such a dick. And tell me why you can't hang tomorrow. And if you don't turn it off, we're gonna have issues. A lot of them. He says, why are you threatening me? She said, I swear you embarrassed the F out of me. Dom said, how? She said, tell me why we can't hang tomorrow, Dom. Dom says, tell me how I embarrass you. I didn't do shit. She says, like, I get treated like shit every day, all day for you. You finally text me and treat me like this. How you're talking slash treating me is embarrassing and I hate it. Dom says, I didn't do shit today. I was busy. You wouldn't understand. She said, I do understand being busy. You weren't busy when I told you we were coming soon. I left you alone all the time. You were busy too. Dom said, I was busy all day till I came home and played basketball. She said, why are you just trying to beef with me? He said, what? She said, okay, but you agreed to coming later before. She said, Dom says, I agreed to come, but I ain't know what time. Kenzie said, like, I'm upset you didn't come. I'm upset because of how you treated me today. I told you later and you never told me a time when I asked to hang. I'm going to be home soon. Let me come over when I'm home. It's already 11:43 p.m. She said, oh my God, please get off D&D. And I'm low-key upset about something I found out today, but it doesn't matter anymore. Dom says, no, I can't. She said, read the other stuff. Why do you take forever to reply, then answer to one effing thing? I'm gonna be home soon. Can I come over when I'm home? Why do you do this? He says, I was on the phone. She said, you still didn't answer to anything else. Dom says, what else do you want me to answer to? She says, the two things I put question mark by. Oh my God, then you just get off the iMessage? I swear to God. He says, I can't. She questions her message. Why? And you still only reply to one thing. Dom says, what? She said, like, you only answered one thing. I want you to answer all. Dom said, yeah, it's late. I don't want to chill this late now. It's literally midnight. And I think she was allowed to be, first of all, why is Natalie allowing her to be out this late when she's only like 15, 16? Second of all, her curfew was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Like, no wonder she was so out of control. I could not be out that late unless I want to get my ass kicked. Like, no, but for real, like, my dad would probably like ground me and take my phone or some shit. I'm glad texting wasn't like it is now. When I was in high school, shit, it would have been exhausting. I don't know. I guess for those of you who have kids, like, maybe if you trust them to be out that late. I feel like my parents kind of trusted me too, but still, not that late. Especially sleeping at a boyfriend's house when I was like 15. Hell nah. Nothing good happens after 11 p.m. That's seriously what my dad says all the time, even till now. I think he says nothing good ever happens after midnight, which is actually really true. He said, hey, Witch, good to see you, by the way. Dom says, and yeah, it's late. I don't want to chill this late now. She says, can we chill tomorrow? And did you see what I said about finding out about something? Dom said, maybe. And yeah, what was it? She said, aren't you going to ask what it is? And we can chill after the grad party I go to with Maddie. She says, please reply fast. Dom said, I just asked. Kenzie said, that one day you were with Maddie, you went to the gas station with her and you drove her home. Oh my God. Thank you, Jakey. They were happy Dom took custody. I appreciate you, Jakey. Yeah, I know. Like, I don't think they should have claimed Kenzie on their taxes. She was not a dependent or whatever, because she was like basically under Dom. Dom was basically supporting her. My curfew was 1 a.m. in the summertime, 11 p.m. during school. Really? I'm trying to remember, like in high school, during school. I think maybe my during was something like 11 p.m. too, but no way I couldn't be out till 1 in the morning. Not until I got like older. She deserves, oh, thank you, Drake. Yeah, I appreciate you. Okay, so then he puts Maddie under Joseph. He takes a pic with her, creates a whole fight. And then she finds out that he went to the gas station with her and he drove her home. I think Maddie and Dom for sure had a thing. Anyways, Kenzie says that one day you were with Maddie, you went to the gas station with her and you drove her home. And she says, which I don't really F with. I don't really F with that. I'm cool with you chilling with her in a group, but not just you and her. Like, I'm really stressing about it because it happened so long ago, but you didn't tell me that. I just want to cry right now. And it's midnight now. She says, I'm honestly so effing upset. No response. Question mark, question mark? No response. She says, oh, so you're just going to leave me on red? She questions her own message and then sends 6 question marks. WTF. WTF is wrong with you. If you don't answer, I'm about to pull the F up. Okay, we definitely have beef now. You're disrespectful as shit. Leaving someone on red after they type more than 1 paragraph is not okay to do, especially doing it 3 times in a row. I'm just going to pull up and not tell you when. See you soon, she says at 12:12 in the morning. He says, nah, I'll dip. She said, well, you're not going to know. I might not even come. All you had to do was not leave me on red and reply, but some reason your brain tells you to do it not once, but 3 times. You're acting really childish, to be honest. Dom says, nah, I'm just not dealing with it. Kenzie said, well, when I tell you I'm upset about something, you should care. Dom says, just go to bed. She says, every time I catch you lying, you shut down like a baby. Don't tell me to go bed. Don't tell me to go to bed, N-word. WTF. You go the F to bed. Sends a screenshot. There, you can read it again so I can answer. Smiley face. Dom says, okay, I'll go to bed. She said, WTF. No, answer, or I'm pulling up. And I do not like Carl at all, by the way. I think we should egg his house. Okay, on my way. She says, I know you're not going to bed. He says, why and why? And why? She said, why? Maybe because you can't answer shit. You reply dry AF. And if you say more than 3 things, it's disrespectful AF. Dom says, I'm tired. She says, I don't really believe that, to be honest. He says, okay, then. She said, see, LMAO, dry or disrespectful. You're just proving my point. Dom says, you're being disrespectful. Kenzie said, you can apologize to me too. She said, I'm not. Dom said, why the F you gonna egg Carl? She said, I'm trying to have you reply. He's an effing piece of shit. If he comes near me, I'm going to slap the F out of him. Dom said, what the F did he do? Kenzie says, I hate him more than I hate my aunt's boyfriend. Is that your aunt that you're talking about in the jail phone calls? What's her aunt's name? She says it in the last video I posted of the calls. She talks about her aunt to Natalie. I wonder if that's her. She says, like, I'm with Maddie and Alexa, and his ugly ass is talking shit to Alexa. F everyone. Everyone's fake. Dom said, you know what's not fake? Money. Kenzie said, I don't care. I don't care about money. I care about people respecting me and treating me with love. And it's still hard to get that. Like, I just want to cry, but I can't because I'm with people. You doing this makes things a lot worse too. She says, nice. You leave me on red every time I spill my heart out. He said, oh. She said, oh, for real? He said, what? She said, that's what you're going to say to me? Oh. He says, I didn't know what else to say. She said, thanks for just letting me know you're never going to be there for me. He said, that's really harsh. I've been there for you hella, but thanks for not recognizing it. She said, it's really harsh when I spill my heart out telling you I'm struggling and you say, oh. He said, okay, at 12:30 a.m. in the morning. She said, okay, we can do this. He said, what do you mean? She said, you'll see. Where you at? I have a surprise for you. He says, if you come to my house, we're not cool anymore. He sends the same message twice. She says, come in your room. My ride's waiting outside. Come apologize that I'm gone. My ride is right outside. He said, no, I'm gone. She said, if you don't say sorry, then I'm leaving and we're going to have an issue. He said, who the F drove you here this late? I'm salty. She said, I'm with people. I told you I'm with my friends. Dom said, you can't have random people pull up to my house this late. What do you mean? You don't even have friends. She said, F you. He said, I'm joking. She said, you're an effing piece of shit. And who do you, she's so mad. She's mistyping. And who thought that was funny? What the F is wrong with you? Wow, you are effed up. He says, I always make that joke since I was a little kid. She said, wow, that's so funny. He said, and yeah, don't be coming to my house this late with people. She said, I'm laughing my ass off so hard that I'm crying. He said, that's not cool. She said, if you don't apologize, we're going to have issues. He said, I'm sorry. She said, LMAO, LMAO, LMAO. He said, now go home. She said, no, the F you not, to my face. He said, no. She said, I'll wait. He said, no. She said, if you don't come apologize, we're for real going to have issues. If you can't do that, then you don't care. Dom said, we already have issues because you just came to my house with people. That's not cool at all. Kenzie said, Dom, they're in the car. I'm in your house. I wouldn't bring people into your effing house. Dom said, it doesn't matter. Either way, you can't bring people to my house. Kenzie said, come apologize right now. And that's my ride, Dom. You hang with Maddie all the time, though. She's not random. Dom said, who the F at my house? She said, Alexa and Maddie in the car. Dom says, we're not cool. She says, I'm in your room waiting for you to apologize. If we not cool, I'm not leaving. Dom, we're not doing this. Stop being childish and come out. I'm not trying to fight with you. WTF. Imagine you're so controlling. You're hanging out with your friends and you make them wait in the car while you're fighting with your boyfriend upstairs at 1 a.m. Can you imagine threatening to egg someone's house? Me and my friends used to egg people's houses. Unread. Block. Yeah, hit the like button. Cree said hit the like button or we're going to have issues. We're going to have beef, okay? She'd climb into windows. Dude, she's psychopath. She says, I'm not trying to fight, WTF. Then what have you been doing this whole day? Dom says, no, we're not cool. Don't come to my house at 1 a.m. with people. We're not cool at all. Dom has a right to get mad because 1, that's fucking psycho. 2, he doesn't want people to know, 𝗏𝗾𝗃. Yeah, irony. Because, the rugs and stuff. That's also why he's concerned. He says, no, we're not cool. She says, you have been so mean all day. When I tell you it's been rough. I'm mad at you. You did me so effing wrong today and you can never apologize to me. I'm so effing nice to you. I let you do whatever you want and you treat me like effing shit. Dom says, now they're all pissed asking who's in the driveway and I'm not even home. Kenzie said, we're not even there. Dom says, you left? She said, I've been left so long ago. Dom said, for sure. And I didn't really do anything. He says, good night, babe. He says, good night, babe, at 1 a.m. And then he says, I'm sorry, Kenzie. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 4:03 a.m. Next day at 1:40 p.m. She says, I'm done with this shit. You would never do this to any of your friends. I'm the only person you treat like this. Dom said, I'm done with how you're acting. She said, I told you I'm going through shit and you're just making me more upset. Dom says, think all you want. Your mental filter is effed up. Kenzie said, if you told me you were going through shit, I'd be there for you. Dom, I'm allowed to be upset about whatever the F I want. I need you to be effing supportive, not unsupportive. Please answer. He says, these days really make me doubt us. She says, I'm not trying to be a brat at all. I know you know that, Dom. When I'm upset and I come to you, all you have to do is be nice and it will cheer me up. I ask for so little love, support, respect, and loyalty. And most of the time, you show me all of those, but when you don't, it really upsets me a lot. Can you please talk on the phone with me, Dom? I'm begging. He says, nah, I don't want to F with you. You came to my house too. She says, question mark, what? He says, I don't F with that either. She said, I was there for 2 seconds. Seen you weren't there, then I left. He says, even worse. Now I'm really mad. She said, how the F is that worse? You wanted me to effing stay there. I don't get it. You for real make me feel like I do everything wrong. He said, nah, I'm mad AF at you. Kenzie said, you're so confusing. Dom says, you always think you're right, but you're not. Kenzie says, I'm not effing right. We both are wrong. I'm wrong by coming over, and you're wrong by continuing to treat me this way after I told you I'm upset. He says, you really making me doubt you. She said, you can't just go there every time we have a gay ass fight. It's not right. I just told you I'm going through some shit, Dom. Why would you even say that? Dom says, I don't know if we'll make it. She says, we will. We always do. Stop trying to do that every time. Dom said, nah, I'm being serious. I think about this all the time. She says, wow, I hate my life so effing much. I thought you were starting to really love me a lot. I'm so effing sad. I'm like hyperventilating. Dom says, you don't need love. It's more than that. Kenzie said, like, you can't just not tell me you think about that shit. I thought we were perfect. We just had so much fun. And you called me princess. Who's going to call me princess? We just had so much fun. And you call me princess. If he says he needs a break, watch out. I know he should know better than to be saying that. Who even knows she's upset over chips? I know. Her threats kept him in the cycle. But do we see like how much he tries to leave her in 2020? It could have taken all the steps and had all the stalking laws on his side, and this crazy chick would have still stalked me. He would have had to like move out of the state. Kenzie has more issues than People magazine. Debbie, that's actually really funny. I didn't see that comment. Kenzie has more issues than People magazine. That's actually a really good one. I'm gonna have to use that. I want someone to call me a princess. Princess Pumpkin. Call me princess. Okay. She says, we had so much fun and you call me princess. I for real can't breathe good right now. So fucking dramatic. Dom says, I don't know why you do this. She says, I didn't do anything. He's like, I'm so over your dramatics. Like, take him down a notch. She says, I didn't do anything. I swear I haven't been this hurt in a while. I don't even know what to do. Like, you didn't tell me you think about that all the time. Do you think about it when I'm cuddling with you or when we're doing stuff together? Like, you apologized to me last night. I seen it, but I didn't answer. You can't say sorry, then keep being so mean to me. Dom said, I said I'm sorry. Then you started being mean first. Get the F out of here. Kenzie said, I wasn't being mean, Dom. Dom says, I'm done with this. She says, and can you answer to that one thing? I don't want to argue with you. He says, I'm done talking. You're wasting my time. I am hungry. She says, I'm effing bawling my eyeballs out. Dom says, and now I'm frustrated and kind of sad. But yeah, leave me alone now. She says, I don't want you to be any of those. Can you please call me for 5 seconds? Dom says, no. She says, please. He says, I don't want to talk to you. She says, please, Dom, just 5 seconds. It's really important. You don't have to say anything. Just listen to me. Please, Dom, she says. Please. He said, no. She said, now you're on D&D. You know how to hurt me. I swear. I'm not going to spam you. I never do that. He said, I'm not trying to. She says, you know how I get when you go on D&D, when you don't take that 5 seconds to let me call you and say what I have to say? I said, you don't even have to say anything back. Like, I've been having a hard time this week because of a lot of things, and I can't control my sadness sometimes, just like when you get mad. Dom said, just text it. She said, like, I just need you to be there for me, even if it's only for like 5 minutes. She says at 2:00 p.m. Dom says, because I don't want to talk to you right now. Kenzie said, I'm sorry if I was being a brat. I wasn't trying to. I was just hurt that you didn't try to come. I really wanted you to come. I really don't want to lose you, Dom. You're my babe and my best friend. I can't imagine life without you. I hate fighting with you so much. It makes me so upset. He doesn't respond. And she says, okay, thanks for leaving that on red at 2:03 p.m. He says, you can be soulmates and not really, you can be soulmates and not ready for each other. That's so true. And he says, I don't know. I really can't lose you, Dom. I just wish you would put in a little more effort with me. I care about you so effing much. You're probably the only person I'd take a bullet for. I just don't want to fight anymore. I'm about to have a rough next week and I can't go through it alone. Dom says, just go to your party. She says, I know. Can you drop off some bud and dabs for me though? We can hang another day. I think we need a break for today. I just got another email from that Hamilton thing. What do you want me to do? And then she sends 6 question marks. You can't just not reply when I ask you a question. Dom said no. She said, okay, or just make no sense. Do you want me to cancel the whole order? Dom said, probably. When is the other thing coming in? She said, the gun thing? Ask Dom, didn't you use his email? He says, oh, okay. She says, I'll see if I can check though. Dom said, no, I thought we did it off your phone. Kenzie said, I also don't know how to cancel the order. I'll figure it out. He says, okay, then leave it. I don't want to effing text about all of this. She says, question mark? Why did you block me on Insta? That shit makes my heart drop. Please unblock, she says at 4 p.m. Did you post something about throwing a party too? Dom said, me and 𝗢𝗎 throwing a B&B party for the seniors. No, you can't go. She says, WTF. Thanks, Dom. You always find a way to leave me out. It means a lot. We were supposed to go to an Airbnb and have a fun night. We talked about that so long ago. Dom said, you're so dumb. Kenzie said, then explain. Don't call me names. Dom said, figure it out yourself, hot shot. Kenzie said, you're going to invite everyone but me. What the hell is wrong with you? Stop being effing mean. I'm not even being mean. Dom said, just because I said me and you can get an Airbnb doesn't have anything to do with anything. You're really effing annoying. She says, why the F are you being so mean? I did nothing. Why are you trying to hurt me? I was just trying to have a convo with you. Like, you called me 3 names for no reason. You said stuff that's not true at all and pretend like it is, said Dom. Kenzie said, what the F did I say that's not true? Question mark, question mark, question mark. What the F is wrong with you? You need to chill the F out. I did nothing to you. All you've been doing is being so hurtful. I help you out and I'm there for you all the effing time and I still get treated like this. Like, I don't know why the F you had to scream in my ear earlier either. That did nothing. Like, what kind of person blocks their girl on Insta for no reason? Like, I don't deserve any of this shit. And I don't know why you had to lie about the party because 𝗢𝗎 said, hit me up if you want to go on his story. I'm not dealing with you acting like this. You better start giving me the love I deserve. Dom says, F you. She says, LOL. And you mad? Do I ditch you? Ignore you? Block you? Hide things from you? Question mark, question mark. Imagine how I feel on the inside, never being able to get my anger out because every time I try to get my point across, you shut me down. Dom said, yeah, because you say our shit and make me mad. Kenzie says, LMAO, that doesn't mean shut down and start treating me like shit for however long you feel. Dom says, nah, I don't care anymore. I'm done with you. She said, Kenzie says, you say dumb stuff sometimes too. No, you're not. He says, you made me so mad. Kenzie said, we're not doing this over text. Dom, I've been mad for so long. You never truly apologized to me. You can't even let me talk to you when I need to. Like I've told you 5 times, I'm going through a lot and I need you to be there for me, and you're still choosing to treat me like this. It's honestly making me feel a lot worse. Like I've been crying all day and all you seem to give an F about is you being mad. Like I care about you. I do not want you to be mad. Holy shit, whenever I say anything about myself, you leave me on red. You really showing me how little you care. He doesn't respond and she says, reply, bruh. When are you going to learn? Dom? Okay, fine. We're hanging later. He says, no. She says, yeah, or tomorrow. He says, no. She says, yeah. We are, Dom. I'm getting dabs in bud. Then if you want to not be cool, you can say it to my face tomorrow. I apologize to you today. I don't know why you get the need to still be mean to me. When someone is going through some shit, don't be mean to them because it makes it a lot harder. I feel like you like to see me hurt. He's not responding to any of these. She says, you remember that one day we were cuddling, then we were talking about some shit? Question mark. Dom questions her message. She said, answer, Dom. Dom sends 1 question mark. And Kenzie responds with this. It was like 2 to 3 weeks ago. We were cuddling and you asked me what I was thinking about. And I told you how you never tell me about your day or ask about mine. And it upsets me and makes me feel like you don't care or try. And you said you would try for me. Like, I've just been thinking, like, I feel like you're just going to keep doing this shit to me. And it's causing me so much stress. Like, this week has been really rough. I've been almost crying before bed, like every night. I just want things good with us, like it was then. I miss you so much. I just want you to treat me right so bad. It was really hard to type all of that way, by the way. It was really hard to type all of that, by the way, she says at 4:42 p.m. He says, we've been good till yesterday. I don't know why you cry every night, and I do ask you, but whatever. She said, Dom, it's not just from you. There's a lot of different things causing all this stress and shit. Like today has been a bad day so far, and it's only getting worse. And you're on D&D still, and you still have me blocked. And those are 2 things that you know cause me a lot of stress. How is she this stressed out? She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have any friends. She doesn't have any hobbies. Like, all her bull crap is not working. He'd have to move to another continent. He'd have to go to space. She always says she's throwing up. She can't live at our house. She's crying. And it's his fault for hurting her. Damn, she texted a whole paragraph. Yeah, she would have him in jail. The threats. Dom is all she had. I know. She says, 2 things that you know cause me a lot of stress. Dom says, I blocked you because I'm heated and you send me pics crying. Kenzie said, I wasn't crying. It was supposed to be a joke. Dom says, whenever you do that, I immediately block. Kenzie said, I won't send jokes anymore. Can you unblock me? And is there any way you could give me dabs today? Can you just get off D&D and unblock me? He says, no, I can't. She says, Dom says, I don't even have any at my house. Kenzie said, but I told you I'm not going to spam you. And I forgot about that. Can you give me some tomorrow then? And can we please just be cool? Dom said, bruh, I don't know what's going through my head or what I think of that for real. She said, please, Dom, I don't want to beef with you. We both apologized to each other. He said, nah, I want to explain to you what you do, but it's so effing dumb. It just makes me feel dumb and frustrated when I try to. You just assume whatever and think it's right. Kenzie says, I didn't know I did that. I will try not to do that. I try to be the best I can be, Dom. And when I'm going through some shit and I have to keep it to myself, it's really hard, but I'll try to stop. I wouldn't want you to do that to me, so I understand. Like, I try to give you space and friend time. I try really hard for you, Dom. He said, nah. She said, I leave your house all the time so you can chill with Chris or Sheen, Dom. But be mature, bruh. Like, I'm trying to work this shit out. Now, like, I may get annoyed sometimes, but I'll always let you chill with Sheen or Chris. She says, bruh, and sends a picture of weed, her weed jar. She says, that vid makes me never want to eat fast food again. Wait, I thought it was a weed jar. I guess it's not. She said, that vid makes me want to never eat fast food again. Dom says, you'll be like that one day. Kenzie says, no, I like never eat fast food. Do you think the smoking one is from tobacco or bud? Dom said, tobacco. Kenzie said, oh, ew, KMS, LMAO. Not KMS. Oh, she meant LMAO. She did typo. Dom says, true. She said, unblock me on Insta at 5:48 p.m. She says, I don't think I'm going to that party. He says, why not? Go. She said, Maddie doesn't want to go. Low-key annoyed because I waited and now we're just not going. Can me and you do something tonight? I'm so bored. Sad face. I've been doing nothing for days. It will be fun, please. Dom says, she's probably still going. Kenzie said, I'm FaceTiming with her right now. She says she doesn't want to go anymore. Dom says, why? Kenzie said, I have no idea. I wanted to go though. I'm so bored. Can we hang today? We can hoop. My foot is healed. She says, I'm about to freak the F out, bruh. Bruh, 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 bruh. He says, what? And I'm chilling with Kyle right now. She said, can we hang out and smoke and chill, please? After? Dom said, why? She says, I'm not having a good day. I'll talk about it when I'm there. I'm so stressed out. Please, can I come over after you and Kyle leave? He says, probably not. She said, please, Dom. He said, just tell me now. She says, I for real need to talk to you. I keep hearing shit I do not want to hear at all. Like, I keep finding shit out and it's making me go crazy, bruh. Dom said, why? Like what? Kenzie said, I have way too much stress for this shit. Dom said, tell me or I don't know because I'm not going to wait. Kenzie says, I'll be talking to Maddie and then she'll tell me how she calls you and you answer right away and then just tell her where you at and that shit bothers me so much. Like she told me last night you were on the phone with her. Okay, wait. So, hi, Mallory. Good to see you, love. I wonder if, so he did kind of like a little bit cheat. KMF is gonna rock you. Can we hang out? Please, like seriously. Bruh, bruh, bruh. She was a golden child. I feel for her sister having to be related to her. I have to laugh a little. It's a tragedy. I know. And there it is, the F and dabs. That's what she was worried about most of the time. I know. Why would you want to be with somebody that doesn't even want you around? I don't know, man. I would not. I would not for a second. She says, okay, so she says, she told me last night you were on the phone with her. And then she says, and there's so much other shit going on too, like multiple people talking shit about me, Alexis, and effing Carl. Like I've been alone for days and I just need my babe. Dom said, I was not on the phone with Maddie last night. Kenzie said, she told me she called you because you were throwing shit at someone's car at Foltz. Dom says, and you've been hanging with people. What do you mean? Kenzie said, are you for real? Like you didn't call her? I mean, she didn't call you? Dom said, and who cares if they talk shit about you? Kenzie said, I don't know. It just bothers me because I did nothing wrong. Like it's not fair. Dom says, yeah, I forgot about that. We were throwing shit at someone's car and Maddie knew them somehow. And I don't have her on my phone, so I didn't know who it was. Kenzie said, I thought it was Joseph, LOL. And yeah, she told me that, but she was asking where you at? And did you tell her and AJ to pull up? Can we please hang after you and Kyle chill? It will be fun. Dom says, no, I didn't want her or Carl to pull up, but AJ could have, yeah. She said, oh, okay, LMAO. Dom says, and yeah, that shit annoying. Kenzie says, I'm not trying to be a bitch, LMAO. I'm just talking to you. Dom says, I finally get high and you kill my high. Kenzie said, shake my effing head. Don't blame me. I wasn't trying to make you mad or anything. I was just trying to have a convo with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to kill your high. Please hit me up when Kyle leaves. Please be nice to me. I think me and Maddie are going again. Can we hang after? She says at 6:54 p.m. Dom said, whose grad party even is it? Kenzie said, it's this one girl from Brunswick. I don't know her. Dom said, probably a thought. Kenzie said, she has a pool. LMAO. Probably me and Maddie only going for the pool. We want to swim. Answer about chilling after the grad party. Dom says, I already told Trevor I'd come through. And I told Thomas we can chill. Kenzie said, make time for me. You chilled with Thomas like yesterday. Dom says, I really don't have any. She says, you can make some. Chill with me after Trevor. We can start to fix that cart thing. Dom says, I have to chill with Trevor at like 8:30, then chill with Thomas. Kenzie said, please don't chill with Thomas. Chill with me instead. It will make me so happy. Dom says, if he can't, maybe, but probably not. Just go to the party. She says, I'm going to the party. I'm saying after, babe. Like, when I'm back, let's just hang, me and you. Dom said, no. She says, why? If you have time, be nice to me, babe. He says, I said I can't like 3 times. Then I said, maybe if Thomas can't. She says, okay, I hope we can. Have fun today, she says. Dom said, yeah, go have fun at the party. She says, I will, LOL. And that was at 7:26. And then she says at 8:23, what are you doing now? He says, at home, about to eat. He says, sorry about all the shit. She says, what are you eating? This party is not good, to be honest. Dom said chicken wings. And yeah, I was about to ask that. Kenzie says, like, the people here are not our kind of people. It's low-key awkward. And I'm hungry. Dom said, I wonder whose party it is. Kenzie said, it's Stephanie's party. She's Maddie's friend. She's cool, but everyone else is weird. Dom says, what if my homie was there? LMAO. Kenzie said, who's your homie? Dom said, the black kid me and Jared F with. She said, I don't think he's here. I'll def know if I see him, though. Dom said, LMAO, he asked who got a bottle. Kenzie said, who asked? You trying to do something tomorrow or tonight? Dom said, B, he was trying to get some alcohol. That's why I thought maybe he'd be pulling up to the party. Kenzie said, oh, LMAO. Are you trying to hang tonight or tomorrow? She says at 9:38 p.m. This party is not that fun. Bruh, Maddie had her friend pick us up and he looks over 21. I got bad vibes. Dom says, yeah, I don't know. She says, answer about chillin', LMAO. I'm trying to come hang with you. She says, please answer at 10:02 p.m. Dom, answer me, please. Babe, please let me know if we can chill. Dom says, I don't know if we can. She says, what are you doing right now? I'm trying to come over like soon. I want you to see my outfit too. Babe? He says, probably not, babe. She says, what are you doing? And can we hang tomorrow? I'm completely out of dabs and weed at the moment. I want to see you too. I miss you. This is the longest I haven't seen you in a while. Dom says, I'm at the house. She says, are you hooping or some shit? I'm at Fultz with Maddie. So cold, we're just chilling in the car. I want to go home, to be honest. Dom says, no, I'm dealing with shit. She says, okay, can we FaceTime later? And can you unblock me? I want to send you some memes. I'm going to be home like in 20 minutes if you want to FaceTime. She says at 11 p.m. She says, I'm home. He says, okay. She says, do you want to FaceTime? Babe, I haven't seen you in 5 days. Let me come over early today. He said, I don't know. He said, it's already the next morning. She said, let me come over early today at 10:03 a.m. He says, I don't know. When is the gun coming? She sends a screenshot and she says, and please, babe, I have no dabs or weed, babe. He says, okay. She said, I just got the bumps all over my arms after I got out of the shower. And did you say yes to letting me come hang early? Dom says, probably not. She says, we haven't hung out in 5 days. Why are you still saying no? That's not cool. Dom, it's the 29th, by the way. She says, can you not be mean or ignore me today? Can we please hang out? He says, I'm sleeping. He says, why do you have to spam me? She said, oh, I thought you were already up and I wasn't spamming you. I waited 20 minutes. till I called you again. Why are you already starting to get mean with me? I'm just trying to effing see you. I miss you and I haven't seen you in 5 days. Like, do you not miss me? And you've been making me really sad these last couple days. Dom said, I was sleeping. We can hang later. It's just not nice to wake up to my phone buzzing over and over again. Kenzie said, I thought you were up because you texted me at 10. My bad. But when you said, why are you spamming me? It just sounded mean, to be honest. She says, I'm out of dabs though. I told you that yesterday. She said, how later? How later are you trying to hang? Why did you leave me on red? Dude, that's what he means by you're spamming him. I'm eating chicken. Is it organic? No GMOs. After the dabs, I know. She never stops. She's just repeating the same stuff over and over. She says, why did you leave me on red? He said, I don't know how later. She questions her own message. Well, I'm not trying to wait all day to hang with you for 2 hours, then go to bed. I want to hang early-ish, like before 4 or like 30 minutes after 4. Don't you want to see me, sad face? He says, what you want to do? She said, I don't know. We can just kick it or we can go do something if you want. It's going to be rainy today. Dom said, my stomach hurts. Kenzie said, did you eat some shit before bed again? Dom says, yeah. Kenzie said, and we can just kick it and go with the flow if you want. I don't really care if we do anything. I just want to be with you. He says, yeah, come over. She says, yay, on my way in 10. He said, for sure. And that was at 12:43 p.m. And then at 7:05 p.m., she sends a little emoji with hearts. She says, what do you want? I'm home if you want to FaceTime, babe. Oh, wait. Yeah. She says, I'm home if you want to FaceTime, babe. And that's at 2:28 a.m. And then she says, LOL, good night, babe. And then on the 30th, the next morning, she says, bruh, Columbus wildin' right now. He said, how? She says, I'll send you a video at 9:50 a.m. They are protesting and breaking shit. She sends a video. He says, wild. She says, right? Like, I don't know why they're still going. That one dude was arrested. Dom said, I don't know, for real. She says, did you fall asleep before you even got home last night? I tried to FaceTime you. Wait, did you fall asleep before you even got home? Oh, yeah. He said, yeah. She says, aw, so cute, LMAO. Dom said, LOL. She says, I'm watching Jeffrey Epstein documentary. He's effing disgusting. Oh, that's funny. She makes this reference because we've been covering Jeffrey. She says, he's effing disgusting. You should see the shit he did. Dom said, that's probably just what the Clintons did and said he did. Oh my God, how weird that we're reading these text messages and we're literally covering Epstein. She says, it's about the victims. There's like 40 girls under 18. Dom said, they was deaf in whatever Epstein was doing. Kenzie said, that's probably true. Donald Trump cool with him too. They lived right by each other in Florida. Dom says, yeah, they effed up. Kenzie says, you got to watch the documentary. He made little ass girls massage him. I'm glad he's dead. LOL. Dom said, it's lonely at the top. She said, true. What are you doing right now? At 11 a.m. He said, just got up and organizing shit. He said, did any of your shit ship yet? She says, I cleaned a little too. No, none shipped yet, but they both should be shipping soon. Both processing. Dom said, for sure, let me know. He says, you want to order some clothes? Kenzie said, yeah, that sounds fun. He says, you should look for stuff for me too. She says, okay, I'm going to find you some dope stuff. He said, bet. She says, you want more shirts, right? Because they're all not big enough. He said, I'll get more shirts. I need some new shorts, some shirts, and maybe a jacket. She said, okay, should I go on PacSun? Dom said, and some undies and some dope trunks. She said, oh, yay, I'm excited to pick some. She says, do you like Playboy? Dom said, not really. If it's super dope, I'll wear it. She said, that's what I thought. I found really dope ones. Dom said, let me know. She sends pictures of the stuff. She said, those two pretty dope. You would look good. Then she sends more. He says, I don't like black and red for trunks. I like the top pair though. Or beige would be dope on trunks. She said, I seen purple ones. Do you like the Playboy one though? Dom said, I like the Playboy ones. She says, I'm gonna look for tan. What size? Also, there's Adidas ones too. They're cute AF. Dom said, trunks probably small. Kenzie said, they have 30 colors. Dom said, make sure the length is long enough though. She said, oh, I think I know what you mean. She says, are you busy today? At 11:33 a.m. There's swim trunks and board shorts. Dom said, not really. We can probably chill. She said, bet. There's no tan ones, babe. I'm trying to show you an outfit. He said, sorry, I was watching a video. She said, it's okay, LOL. Can you FaceTime? Babe, can I come over now? He says, I don't know if I'm trying to chill yet. She said, oh, okay, babe. That's cool. She said, just hit me up soon. I'm about to take my hair out of braids right now and do my makeup. Dom says, don't touch my shoe boxes. She said, question mark, question mark, question mark. He said, the shoe box is in my room. Don't touch them. She said, why are you telling me that? I never touched them. LMAO. He says, because they were moved. She said, oh, when I cleaned your room, I just picked up the stack and put it by your TV. I thought that's where they all went. My bad. I won't next time. Dom said, don't move my boxes or my backwoods. Kenzie said, you told me to clean your room when you went to the bathroom, Dom. Like next time I clean, just tell me what I can and can't move. Dom says, I just told you to put the shit on the bed. Don't try to organize it. She said, okay, I just won't clean your room for you anymore. I don't know why you're coming at me. He said, okay, I'll just keep my phone on D&D from now on too. She says, why are you being so mean? Like the only reason you said that D&D shit was to make me upset. I put your backwoods in that black bag and stacked up shoes where they usually are. You can't just start being mean to me. I said, sorry, you know I didn't mean to F anything up. Dom says, I just told you not to touch my shoe boxes or my backwoods. And you're like, okay, then I won't clean your room anymore. So I was like, okay, I'll keep my phone on D&D then. So you can't spam me. She said, I wasn't going to spam you. Question mark, question mark, question mark. You know, I'm still going to clean your room, but it sounds ungrateful AF when you start being mean to me for moving shoe boxes. How was I supposed to know you didn't want me to move the shoe boxes or backwoods? Like, you're really upsetting me. Dom says, I'm just letting you know you're the one who made it a problem. Kenzie said, WTF, with 5 question marks. I didn't even say anything. You started being rude about moving the shoe boxes first. I'm not trying to fight with you over this. Dom says, no, I just told you not to. Kenzie said, it came across rude to me because you just said it out of nowhere. She sends a screenshot of his message. Dom says, well, I was looking for shit and my boxes were moved. Kenzie said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for that to happen. I was just trying to clean your room. She said, bruh, my skin is low-key peeling in the most annoying spot. Dom said, gay. She said, it's right between my boobs. Like, what are you doing now? She says, answer FaceTime. She says, do you want to hang out now? Dom says, I have to go do this paperwork now. She said, FaceTime me, 4 seconds. And after that, can you scoop? He said, maybe. She said, bet, hit me up when you're done. And it's 2:11 p.m. She says, don't forget. At 2:35, she says, what are you doing? He said, on the way to my mom's office. She says, okay, let me know when you're done with that, babe. She says, babe, answer. Want me to get you a shirt right now? He said, show me. She says, I don't have pick or purple swim trunks. I already left PacSun too. He said, tough. She said, I'm going into Tilly soon. They have swim trunks and cool shirts. You got to answer me quick though. She says, I left, LOL. Text me when you're on the way home. I'm still trying to get scooped. She says, I'm home at 3:43 p.m. Babe? Question mark. He says, okay, I'll scoop you. She says, right now? He says, no, I went and mailed my license application. Then I went and got food. She says, you think it will be before 5? He says, yeah, I probably could come in a sec. He said, what do you want to do? She said, we'll figure it out when I'm with you. She says, I'm down for anything, babe. He says, okay, can I go show Joey and AJ this new cart? She says, yeah, can I come with? I FaceTime you. He said, what? She says, can I come with you? Like, scoop me before. He said, I'm already on the way to Kyle's. She said, bruh, why? You said you would scoop me before 5. Dom says, I gotta stop there real quick. She says, why couldn't you just bring me? That honestly makes me really annoyed. You could have just gotten me first. Now I have to wait longer. And I'm ready too. Dom said, it's not like we have anything to do. She said, what does that have to do with anything? I'm so annoyed right now. Bruh, like you could have brought me. It's already 5. She says, call me. This is the type of shit that makes me really stressed out. She says, Dom, bruh, like you make me think you're on the way. And why? Ask me if you want to go without me anyway. Like, this is the most frustrating thing. I got off my game when you said I can probably come in a sec. That means you're going to be on the way in less than 5 minutes. Dom said, it's only been 20 minutes. She says, what the F do you even mean? You told me you can come before 5. She says, OMFG, I'm about to flip out. She says, don't tell me you're coming soon when you're just going to go to Kyle's without me. I literally got ready. Dom says, don't flip out on me or you're not coming over the F out of here. I had to be there really quick. He has to leave. So F off. She said, thanks, Dom. You could have just told me that when you asked me before. Usually when you go to Kyle's, you're there for a long ass time. Do you think it's warm enough for shorts? She says. When are you leaving? She says at 5:16 p.m. She says, I'm ready. She said, can you please text me back? Why are you not answering, Dom? Please stop. He said, I was talking to Kyle about serious shit. I'll tell you when I see you. She says, are you coming now? He said, in a sec. She said, okay, please come fast. My anxiety is bad right now. Did you leave yet? She says, I'm ready. It's been 10 minutes. Can you please come now? You said you were going to come at 5 and it's almost been a whole hour. And you're on D&D for some reason. And that's at 5:51. And then she says, babe, at 8:58. She said, FaceTime. And then it jumps to 11:35. She says, come back soon. He says, I'll leave in 10 to 20. She says, yay. She says, babe, FaceTime me. She says that at 2:10 in the morning. That's the second time he said F off. Ugh, he's been saying it a lot. Hey, Green Eye, good to see you. Books. She was going through his shite. Yeah. Were they officially a couple this whole time? Oh, yeah. They were together. They were together. She says, babe, when you up, text me. She says, I texted Angelo last night to tell you to FaceTime me, and he told me you went home. So now I'm confused AF. She says at 10:47 a.m. He said, no, I slept. My bad. She says, LMAO, I knew that was going to happen. How did you sleep? She says, want to hang today? Maybe we can go out to eat tonight because all restaurants are open, I think. Dom says, yeah, we could probably do that. And I got to do fat laundry right now. She said, I seen your pile was high AF. I can help you with laundry if you want. He said, yeah, come over. She said, okay, bet. She says, be there in 10. He said, actually, don't come over. My washer and dryer don't work. And he sends a bunch of exclamation. Read text. She says, oh, you don't want to hang anymore? She says, yeah. Dom says, yeah, I don't. She said, sad face. Okay, can we hang a little later? If you need to wash your clothes, you can do it at my house, by the way. He says, I'm doing it at Nikki's. She said, oh, okay. She said, hit me up when you're done with your laundry. I'll still be down to chill after. She says, babe, at 1 p.m. He says, I don't know if I'll want to. I probably won't want to, for real. She says, why not? We were just about to hang this morning. He said, because I don't want to. She said, all right. And then she sends screenshots at 1:58 p.m. He said, there's a tank at the mall. She said, I think so. I'm going to go see it soon. She says, on my way there right now. Dom says, LOL. She said, check Insta soon. 2 group of helicopters and 2 SWAT cars. Dom said, is anything else going on or is it that? She says, I don't know. I think they have them in Medina too. We're going to go there too. Check Insta. He says, I did. Kenzie said, Maddie's working at the mall. Dom says, throw food at her. Dom says, throw food at her. Kenzie says, LMAO. No, I'm not there right now. My mom won't let me go in. I just texted her. Dom said, to where? Kenzie says, to the mall. We just drove past it. Dom says, oh. She says, I want to go in bad AF though. Dom says, so you didn't even go in at all? Kenzie said, no, she just doesn't want to go in. I'm going in right now. Dom said, did you see the tanks? Kenzie said, yeah, there's not tanks, but there's big ass SWAT trucks. And inside the mall, there's hella SWAT. She says, do you want to chill now? At 3:45 p.m. He says, I'm driving right now to chill with my cousins. Kenzie said, what one? I thought you didn't really talk to them. Question mark, question mark. Why did you leave me on red, babe? He says, the little ones. He says, I don't, N-word. The F. She says, chill. Dom said, you say this every time. Kenzie said, have fun. He says, you got me in the left lane. Kenzie says, you don't have to get mad at me. I'm just talking to you. When are you going to be back? He says, I don't know. She says, okay. At 6:02 p.m. Then she says, babe, what are you doing now? He says, I got my cousins high and they way too fried. She says, OMG, how little are they? You said little cousin. Dom says, and I can't take them home. Kenzie says, LMFAO, oh my God, that sucks. Did they puke? Dom said, only a couple years younger. No. She says, how many of them are with you? Dom says, my aunt will be pissed though. Kenzie said, oh, when you said little, I was thinking like 8 to 10 or even younger. Where are you at right now? She says at 6:05 p.m. Why you leave me on red, babe? He says, we're in Avon. She said, oh, damn, Avon's far AF. Are you coming back before 7:30? I might go somewhere with Maddie later. She says, babe? He says, probably not. She said, really? Question mark. Dom said, yeah, the drive is far. She said, okay, if I'm still here when you're back, we can chill before I go. I want to see my babe, she says. Dom said, sure, where are you going? Kenzie says, I don't know where, but all I know is Maddie, Alexa, Gracie, and Farron, I think, is having a little party because Farron graduated, but low-key, I don't want to go because Farron was talking about me. But Maddie wants me to come. Dom says, it'll probably be lame, but yeah, probably go. She said, if it's gay, I'll just dip, LMAO, and come hang with you. She says, I'm peeling so bad. Dom said, I'm still 20 minutes away from home. She says, I'm not going yet. I'm still home. When are you going to be home? She says at 7:50. She says, babe, answer me, babe. He says, I'm home at 8:21 p.m. He said, what's up? She says, can I come over? I don't know if I'm even going anymore. He said, go with them. I'm playing basketball. She says, they haven't hit me up. Can I come, please? He said, Trev and Angelo's playing. She says, I'll play. He says, and Trey. She says, can I come hoop, please? I'm bored. I'll leave when they hit me up, though. She says, please, babe, at 8:27 p.m. He says, no, babe, we chilled yesterday. Just go wait for them. She says, are you sure? I might be over there for like 30 minutes. If they don't hit me up, can I come over? And that was at 8:39. And then at 9, she says, babe, they still didn't hit me up. Dom says, don't spam them. That's probably why. Kenzie said, I'm not spamming the F. WTF. He says, oh, I thought maybe you were. She said, why the F? Can we chill after you ball? He says, I thought you were going to the party, so I told Trevor I could smoke. Kenzie says, you went there yesterday. Please, babe? He says, I know, but I only chill there for like an hour and I chill with you all day. And you have your mom and your dad and everyone else. And all Trevor has is his grandma pretty much. And after she goes, he doesn't really have anyone, Kenzie. These hour or two I just want to spend with him means a lot, to be honest. Kenzie said, okay, babe, at 9:22 p.m. That's fine. Just go hang with him. Dom said, even if I chill with him till 11 and we chill till 2, you still get more time. Kenzie said, and when you get home, maybe we can hang? He says, sorry, I got mad earlier too. I've been trying not to smoke at 9:22 p.m. She says, it's okay, babe. She says, 3 kissies. She said, you're so cute, babe. Hit me up when you're home. He says, okay, babe. She says, I might sleep. We can hang early tomorrow at 10:35 p.m. He said, maybe. Depends what I have to do. She said, okay, you going to be there longer? She said, it's cool if you are. She said, I'm tired, to be honest, though. He said, probably a little, yeah. She says, if you're coming back soon, I'll come hang. Would you wanna? He says, okay. She says, can you scoop? Babe? And how soon? It's literally 10:44 p.m. He says, I might leave soon. She says, I probably can't hang after 11:30. Just try to come scoop soon. She says, I'm tired-ish. Dom says, I mean, I could, but let's just chill tomorrow. It's super late. She said, okay, babe, let's FaceTime when you're home. And then he sends a picture of something at midnight. Okay, and we're going to end there because we start the new month. Finally, holy cow, we finished May. It took us 3 hours. Barf. I know. Yay! We made it. We made it to June 2020. I'm going to schedule this for tomorrow. I have so much fun reading these. I forget how much fun they are. Oh man, I know. What does her mom and dad do? Sounds like she got everything as a child. If not, she throws tantrums. Can she tell she was a baby that cried a lot as a newborn? Can you tell? Yeah, because all you do is spam. She does. Her dad was like what was he? Oh, he's like a graphic designer. And then her mom is like a daycare person, I think. What a spaz she is. Yay! Woo! I know. We did it. Shout out to all of you guys for hanging out 3 hours later. That was only half of the month, too. Daycare. Thank you. Daycare. Shout out to Lakeside and Drakey, too, and all of you for being here in the super chats. I appreciate it. Wait, who's Jessie? Jessie? There's a ton of dry skin in that cat. Oh, yeah, Green Eyed. I hope you're okay. We've been missing you, Green Eyed. Yeah. I can't believe she was in daycare for Kenzie smoking as much as she did. She's the one who threw herself on the floor when she should not get what she wanted as a child. Well, she must be used to it now. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you guys, remember how we saw the video, or she did that post about her being like, oh, free Kenzie, free Kenzie. So if you go back to the post and look at the comments, I screenshotted because I was going to tell you guys. Someone said, like in her post, you know, that picture from jail, Kenzie's page responded and said, if you're more concerned with who's running her social media, she's responding to the haters in the comments. She says, whoever is running that page, and I'm pretty sure it's Natalie Shirilla. Oh, Dime Girl says, if you're more concerned with who's running her social media than you are with what they did to her to solidify this crooked conviction, it means that you're showing your bias. Each one of us knows that their family's involved and we're as close as can be. This was a tragic car accident framed as murder because that is what, quote unquote, they wanted it to be. She's responding to the haters in the comments in that picture from jail. And then she said, okay, and then someone said, someone said something to her, and she says, Natalie Shirilla says, if her being wrongfully convicted of causing an intentional act, therefore being innocent of it, triggers you, it says more about you than it does her. And then this is the response that I knew they listened to the phone calls, because Natalie says, and for those saying things like, oh no, but her phone calls, I'd love to hear how you sound on your phone calls when you're being charged and convicted for something you didn't do. I would imagine you might sound a little frantic. You might sound a bit frantic too. ... And rightfully so. Hashtag until it happens to you, and it can, only then you'll know. She listens to the phone calls. We know this, but it solidifies it. She says, oh, things like, oh no, but her phone calls. Not impressed. We're not impressed with you, Natalie Shirilla. Oh, I am biased. Call me out. Bring it, super mom. She's just like ready to fight. That's funny. I know. I was dying to read those. Natalie caught wind of your channel, Melly. No way. I mean, a lot of people cover Kenzie, but I have been one of the more to go deep, you know, like with all those Snapchats. We still haven't even gone through her TikToks. Okay, we need to finish that and the Instagram messages. I'll try to schedule them both for tomorrow. Anyways, Whoa, she knows. Yeah, she been listening to the phone calls. She been listening. We love this case. Yeah, we do. Anyways, tap the like button on the way out. Please, please, please. The lives for tomorrow's the lives for tomorrow, all the lives for tomorrow, I will schedule them tonight. So I'll make another Kenzie text reading for tomorrow. We need to try to get back into it every day. So I will schedule those. Keep your eye out. Thanks, Melly. Come out wherever you are, Natalie. Hey, we'll be nice, Natalie. If you want to come up here and talk, we'll accept you. We'll be nice. I'll be rewatching. Okay, sounds good. We're all about telling the truth here. Yeah, Natalie. So if you're ready to take some accountability, we would love to interview you. Anyways, shout out to all of you guys. Please tap that like button on the way out. I will see you guys tomorrow. More lives planned. We did Nancy and Kenzie today, right? Yeah. Okay. I'll schedule the manifesto tomorrow as well. We need to finish that. And of course, we're still covering Epstein. Go peep the playlist. If you need to get caught up on Kenzie, there's like 80 videos under the Kenzie case. Then I have one just for the new session of text message readings. And then I have another playlist with the jail calls. So please, please, please replay. I appreciate all the replay viewers as well. Have a good night. Tap that like button on the way out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace.